All right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us tonight. We're finally back on here. Been tied up over the last week or so. Sorry I haven't been able to come on. Guess we got a lot of catching up to do. Want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Miss Can't Be Wrong's in the building. How you doing, Missy? Good to see you. What's going on, Eldo? Midwest Mafia. What's going on, Sable? How you doing tonight? Good to see you. Boogeyman, my dude. Good to see you. How you doing tonight? What's going on, Becky? Maureen Mo's in the building. What's up, Red? Redheaded. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you. Sven from across the pond over in Denmark. How are you, my friend? It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Biggie Smalls and Maverick. What's going on, everybody? Hey, David Lopez. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Mo said she's listening while the bedtime fight with the grandchild. Okay, take care of that. Family first, Mo. Thanks for stopping by. Steve the Gypsy, we're going to have Howie's going to be joining us in just a moment. We're going to go over a couple of things, latest in the community, calling out a couple of jerk-offs on here and going over a video on somebody's channel. We're going to talk about that for a little bit and break that down for everybody. Want to thank everybody for being here. If you guys haven't already, please turn your notifications on. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. And if you enjoy the content, please hit that like button. If anybody would like to help support this channel, I got the Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal at the bottom of the ticker on the screen here. And it's very much appreciated. For those of you that want to remain anonymous, just let me know if you haven't already in the message, and I'll be sure to do that. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Howie, what's up, my man?
And we're live.
And we are live.
What's up, Mickey Batch, Joe Root, Maverick, Boogeyman, Blue Six, Red, my man, Furbo, Sven Larson, Joe Root, David Lopez, Steve the Gypsy, and Big Small, Dominic Calandra. What's up, my man? Maverick. Maureen Mo, I almost missed you. All right, I think that's it.
Armand's in the building. What's up, Armand?
Armand, what's up, my man?
Good to see you, bro. Thanks for stopping by. Everybody here for tonight. We have a little show tonight. We're going to talk about a few things, cover a couple topics, and hopefully put on a good show for you guys. We missed anybody else? We're good to go.
Hey, does anybody know what Angel Gotti's title is all about? It says pissing contest, something about silo. Let me see.
What does this say?
It says a pissing contest. Also, Tony Silo's days numbered. Does anybody know what that was?
I have no idea what the fuck that's all about. It says it says a pissing contest and our Tony Silo's days numbered. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that was the title.
Huh. I'm not sure. Anybody in the chat know?
Oh, Becky Town said that JT will no longer be on her show.
Oh wow, no shit. What the hell happened?
What the fuck does that have to do with Silo?
I don't know. I don't know what to make of that.
Well, I mean, we know what happened. I guess she just decided to end the relationship because of what happened the last time they were on.
Oh, okay. I might have missed. I didn't see how things ended off between them. I thought they had made up or something like that, but I guess not.
No. But yeah, I mean, I guess JT will find this show really interesting.
Yeah. They'll be tuning in. Hit that like button. I guess we wanted to address a few comments that have been made on a couple of the posts and the shows that we did last week. You want to start off or?
No, you could start.
All right. So basically, we've been getting a lot of comments and people saying stuff regarding this whole SoFlo situation, whatever's going on since we came out and told everybody about the call Maureen got from the congressman. And for whatever reason, it appears to be that people are either intentionally lying about what we've said on the shows previously or are just getting us confused with somebody else. because people keep saying that we told everybody that the Ripper got deported and he wasn't in the country anymore and all this other shit. And that has never been said by anybody that's ever been on this show. Not myself, not by Howie, not by Maureen, not by Carlos. So I don't know where these people are coming up with this new conspiracy theory or false claims stating that we claim that this guy was deported, because we've never said that one time. You've never heard not one of us say that. We had speculation originally when he was missing and nobody knew his location, but we never once said the guy was fucking deported. We said he's on the list to get deported, but these people are obviously doing this for nefarious reasons, or intentionally doing this just to deceive people or turn it into something else that they want because they're trying to be right about something. I don't really know what to make of it, but it's not anything that we've ever said over on this channel. So if you didn't hear it from us, we didn't fucking say it.
Hello, Miss Can't Be Wrong.
What's up, Steve? How you doing, brother? How you feeling? Hope all is well. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you.
Yeah, I believe the last time I was up here, I had mentioned something that Jane Creek said. I don't have it in front of me anymore, but she said something like that. According to my handler, if Angel keeps hanging out with Self-Flow, she's going to get herself arrested or something like to that effect. Yeah. I never said that.
No.
At all. I don't. Even if that was fucking true and he did say that, I wouldn't say it on YouTube.
Right.
So, you know, I'm going to assume she was mistaken.
Yeah, in her defense, maybe she just misheard something or was just drawing a conclusion or mixed up some words that you said previously. I'm not really sure, but that's something you definitely did not say for sure, just to clear that up. For any confusion out there, that was never said.
Thank you, Miss Can't Be Wrong.
And I forgot the name. There was, what was his name? Like Bobby UK or some shit like that. That made that comment about the deporting thing or something like that.
Oh, you talking about the guy who's been leaving the messages?
Yeah, they've had a whole bunch of sock accounts and they keep, you know, saying stupid shit after the show or in the comment section. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna read that if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me pull this up real quick. Yeah, so what happened is today. I'm sorry, guys. Today, I don't know, some guy named Bobby decided to make a comment towards me, and it said, "Stop! It's over. Nothing happened, or is going to happen to him. Show something, anything, one shred of evidence. But it's coming. Yup. When it does, I'll write back and say, oops. But it's never going to show he's fine." This guy doesn't know how to punctuate his sentences. That's why it's screwing me up. "This garbage pail is not in any danger of deportation or anything like it." So I normally don't respond to anybody, but I just sent him a little response. I'll read that to you guys too. I said, "A shred of evidence?" with a question mark. "He disappeared 2 weeks. No sign of him." Before Maureen even spoke about the phone call. Maureen gets a phone call from her congressman's office. They tell her he was detained, not deported. Then he shows up, not living at home anymore. He's not attacking the people that caused this to happen anymore. He did have an immigration handler. I'm sure most of you people knew that. And he was on the deportation list. So then I said, maybe he got some type of bond with the hearing date and is required to stay at an immigration hotel or something. Who knows? This is all speculation. No one knows what happened after he was detained. But you can bet your ass something happened. And the list goes on and on. I mean, the guy admitted he got a phone call from someone.
Yes. Yeah, he did the night that he went on Mickey's show that night. He admitted that he had gotten contacted, and he claims that they called him to just tell him, Mr. Mendez, you don't have anything to worry about. Now, why would somebody call somebody to tell them that they don't have anything to worry about? If you believe that that's what the conversation was, then you might be dumber than I thought, because it makes no fucking sense. If he got contacted by somebody from ICE or his handler, probation officer, whatever it may be, then based on the information that we were told and what the congressman told Maureen, you can draw an easy conclusion and figure out that obviously something happened, that he's no longer on here anymore. I mean, it's not rocket science. The guy spent 24/7 on fucking YouTube. So
Yeah, well, Maureen's saying that it wasn't her congressman. It was a
right.
congressman that she was put in touch with. So I just want to correct the record before people start running with that.
Well, yeah, that's another thing too. I guess there's some sleuths on here and some private eyes or whatever that think that they have got everything all figured out. Well, you guys keep running with that. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, and you know what? In his situation, he may have very well been given a hearing, and now he needs to go to court and prove why they should let him stay in the country.
Yes.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah, because usually what they ask the person is, what have you been doing since your incarceration? How have you bettered your life? What have you done to provide for yourself or your family? And what's the reason you're supposed to be here, basically? Yeah. He's going to have a hard time explaining that.
Yeah, what are you going to tell them? You deserve to stay here because you've been a criminal all your life?
Right. And all the people you've been harassing and fucking with on YouTube and all this other shit. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And the women that he's beat up and the women that he's forced into sexual acts. I mean, who the fuck would let this guy stay or give him a chance?
Right.
But you never know. He can wind up with a leftist judge or something, and they let him stay.
Well, that's something, I find it kind of funny too, that I hear people on here that are calling him, a ripper and a rapist and all this shit. And then they turn around when you have the same paperwork on them and they say, oh, well, I was never charged or convicted of that crime, so it's not true or whatever. Then why are you calling him a fucking rapist and a ripper and shit like that? If there's more proof on the other people that we're speaking about than there is on him. There's restraining orders, police reports, and everything else. So if you're gonna call one person that and base it off of a police report and shit, then you better be consistent and stop being a hypocrite and look at the fucking people you're surrounding yourself with. Because there's just as much, if not more, proof that they fucking sexually assaulted a fucking kid than he did that woman. So.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps saying that the lady lied and it wasn't true what happened. Well, I mean, so then why did the police officer who handled the case when it first happened make a note of all the hair missing out of her head, bruises, and whatnot? So she just made everything up.
It's ridiculous. I think her shirt was ripped or something, or the pants or some shit, and he used her bra as a fucking towel, basically, something like that.
Yeah, he took her bra and wiped his dick off.
The guy's an animal, absolute fucking animal. So
degenerate. He's the worst on here. And you know what? It's in his fucking DNA. His son turned out to be a human trafficker, underage girls.
Yeah, chip off the old block.
Yep, shooting people.
Well, I'm wondering.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying.
You know what I'm wondering? Maybe that's why he likes spending all that time at fucking Disney World or whatever the fuck. It's kind of weird, isn't it, for like grown men to want to hang out at fucking a kid's park?
Yeah, and he must love Disney World because he went there like a fucking few days before fucking Christmas too, right?
Yeah, I think he was there like a week or two before Christmas. Yeah.
Okay, a week or two.
Yeah. But right before the holidays, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes me curious. Maybe he's recycling videos.
Very possible.
With AI, who knows? But none of that shit matters. this is all speculation. We're not saying that any of this is true, that it was AI. All we know is that all of a sudden the guy says he fucking doesn't live by his wife's anymore. He's taking videos outside of some type of hotel or something. Come on, people. Are you fucking serious? Forget about the deportation part. Nobody said he got deported.
No.
But you can't sit there and say that nothing happened. Okay, and he definitely has an immigration probation officer. Okay,
He admitted to it.
yeah, he admitted to it. Yeah,
Right. So when the people, because I heard a lot of people talking, saying some shit about, oh, the deportation order was from the 80s, it's not still in effect or it's not still standing. No, no, no. That deportation order is still in effect and it's still standing. Because if you call up the immigration court and you give them his alien number, it's right on their computer system. That order is still standing. He never fought it or anything. He never appealed it, nothing. That order is still in effect. And he's not like a standard illegal, so to speak, where they just crossed over the border and they have no work history or no family here or no nothing like that. They've been here for a long fucking time. So he's not in the same category that would get instantly picked up and deported. He's considered a US person because he's been here for so long. So that's the only basically holdup, I guess. Because if it was, back then, if this administration was now, and this was 1987 or 88, when he got that deportation order, he would have got picked up and sent back immediately. So he's probably fighting it right now with whatever he has going on. So
and another thing, I could give a flying fuck that if he got deported or not. Okay, he's gone from fucking YouTube. He's not fucking attacking people anymore.
right,
That's a win in itself. And you know what? Maybe one day he'll stick to his promise and show up at a restaurant that I'm eating at, and
right.
and then maybe will have a conversation. But other than that, I could give a fuck less if he got deported. Long as he's gone, he's defeated. He's not doxing people anymore. Who gives a fuck?
Or threatening people, shit like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
people should just be happy with that and leave it where it is, as far as I'm concerned.
guy like that is only going to get himself into trouble uh, in the near future anyway. He's going to wind up beating whatever girl. If he didn't beat up Tina already, he's going to wind up beating her up or whoever comes after her.
If he isn't already, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah,
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah. So at the end of the day, like we said, a win is a win. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Anything after that with all this new, speculation or people putting words in our mouths or saying shit that we didn't say, cut the shit. You know damn well we never fucking said that. And I find it very strange that Mickey's now fucking his personal spokesperson over here after everything that guy did to her and her family. I even heard this lady the other day. I was listening to her show. She told JT that she never bent to the Ripper, not one time. She said, "Are you
yeah,
fucking kidding
yeah,
me, lady? You've admitted it on here before that you bent the knee. You said, yeah, I did bend the knee. He was going after my family and my daughter every single fucking day. So yeah, I bent the knee. If it was your family's getting attacked, what would you do?" And
yeah,
now she's telling everybody a couple days ago that she never bent her knee to fucking anybody and she's not scared of anybody on here. Bull fucking shit. You admitted it before, you fucking liar.
yeah. And instead of people out there looking forward or wishing that we wind up with egg on our face, you should be fucking rooting for the fact that the guy ain't on YouTube anymore, and hopefully maybe he does get deported in the future instead of concentrating on us not being right.
Exactly. Especially when it's people that were affected by the scumbag on top of it that are doing it.
Yeah,
That's
and
that's the disheartening part about it. It's like, what the,
right.
you know what I mean?
Instead of her, you know, rooting for us to fucking get this guy fucking deported, that would be, a wonderful thing if it happened. But instead of like rooting for that or hoping for that, she'd rather fucking talk about how fucking wrong we are. But we haven't fucking done anything wrong. Everything that we said happened. We never said he was deported.
No. It's pretty sick when you think about it, knowing what that guy did to her and her fucking family. Like, she's platforming that motherfucker on top of it. But I'm not surprised by it. She's a very spiteful, fucking vindictive person. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like that, somebody that will bite their nose off to spite their face kind of thing. It's that ridiculous.
Yeah, that's exactly what she does.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of other people do that shit too.
Yeah, it's a common thing around here, apparently. And that people being hypocrites, that's another thing that seems pretty fucking contagious also. Ridiculous,
Yeah.
man. I never thought that was going to be the response that we got from anybody on here. That people would be that concerned about trying to prove us wrong and be happy that motherfucker was gone. So I guess I shouldn't have expected any less stuff from these people.
Yeah, you haven't heard anything from fucking his cronies, Chicago Muscle, Stone Sailor. They haven't spoken out about anything. I wonder why.
Well, they know the truth, I'm sure. So to say the Sailor's gone too, he hasn't been around either, huh? No, neither one of them?
Well, yeah, I think he wrote some type of fucking letter saying that he's gone. He's leaving.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Hey, what's up, Dwayne? Good to see you, man. How are you? Coming in from Australia.
What's up, Dwayne?
He sent out a press release? Oh, shit.
Yeah, Becky Town.
That's funny. What a clown.
Did I see Danny Green in here?
I think it was David Lopez. I don't think Danny Green was in tonight. He might be. I find what was what were we just talking about? Because I found something funny that somebody said too, and I just forgot what it was. I was reading a message on here. It was something about the fucking Ripper, man. Fuck, I forgot what I was just gonna say.
Something to do with angels sticking up for him?
Yeah, I forget. I'll remember it.
Chicago Muscle, Stone Sailor.
Oh, yeah, it was about Stone Sailor. Yeah, did you hear the last time he came on there? He threw fucking Stone Sailor under the bus and
Yeah.
said that he was the one that fucking called the prosecutor and lied and said that he was gun smoke and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the Stone Sailor has to say about his buddy over there, fucking throwing him under the bus.
Maybe that's why he did his press release.
Oh, he did. So he did that after the dude said that shit.
I believe so.
Oh my god!
But I'm not 100%. But I believe so.
That's too funny, man. So that same guy that was parading around here, that's his buddy. He went and he fucking threw him right under the bus and ratted on him right on fucking YouTube in front of everybody.
Yeah, because he's fucking.
Oh shit!
Trust me, he can't afford to get into any more problems.
That's fucking funny, man. Yeah, because he doesn't want it coming back on him, but he's trying to put it onto this dude. He doesn't give a fuck. And that's exactly what would have happened to Chicago and anybody else that sided up with him. He would have thrown them up under the bus too.
Oh, Maureen said it was before.
Oh, it was before that? Oh, okay. Well, regardless, whether it was before or whether it was after, if he didn't do it before, I'm sure he would have done it right after he heard him throw him under the bus like that.
Yeah, what's going on with fucking Kickstand? I heard he was a topic on Gunsmoke show earlier.
I'm not sure. I saw a community post or something. I think Maureen made a community post or something about him. I guess he was talking shit. I don't know if Maureen could fill us in real quick, but I guess he was making comments, talking shit to like Angela and Maureen or something.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not exactly sure like what the back and forth was. I saw a community post, but I forget exactly what it said though. But apparently he's the only one left that's sticking up for that fucking piece of shit. So whatever. That guy's got his own fucking problems, if you ask me. He's on them liquid handcuffs right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
He just keeps going at me and Angela defending his hero, the YouTube terrorist.
And that's what that guy is. Let's be honest. He's a fucking terrorist down here. That's all he did on here was fucking terrorist acts to fucking people.
Listen, I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. The guy had a lot of people afraid of him out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And most of all of his friends were scared of him. That's why they were his friends.
Yeah, they just didn't want him turning that fucking venom on them, basically. That's all it is. It's one of those things like, if you can't beat them, join them types of shit. For the weak people
I
that
will
didn't
tell
want to
you.
get
I
abused.
will tell. I will tell you one thing.
Uh,
I would say like 2 months before all of this shit actually happened,
uh-huh.
I hadn't seen Soretti in the chat. He
Soretti?
was yeah. He basically stopped going on his show like maybe 2 months before it actually happened because it could have been a month and a half, but still he hasn't said anything. Maybe he saw the light. I'd have to send him a message on Instagram, see if that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean he was always cool though. I never had an issue with him or nothing like that. And he seemed like one of the more reasonable people and shit. So I'm sure he got sick and tired of his bullshit and just fucking parted ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he disappeared. He disappeared from his chat way before the shit
Yeah.
went down.
Right. Yeah, he probably did the smart thing and got away from the motherfucker without causing a scene and just disappeared gracefully. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I have communicated with him on Instagram. Not in a long time, but the last time I spoke to him, he said he was starting a business. Um, you know, Probably combination of him starting a business and knowing that his fucking friend is a scumbag.
Right. Yeah, it's probably a combination of both.
Yeah,
Oh, here's this jerk off. You guys insinuated he was deported. Like we don't know who that is. Go somewhere else.
we just told you flat out he wasn't.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's one of the fucking retards in the chats that's always got something to fucking say on there, making comments on the videos and shit like that. Go
What did
support
it,
the hero. Go support the fucking Ripper. You could fucking
what
beat me,
what
you fucking
would
clown.
it have been a normal reaction when you hear someone was detained by ICE that eventually he probably going to get deported?
And the fact that the guy has a deportation order on his fucking alien number. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
So it's
but
whatever helps you sleep at night. What's up, Furbo? How you doing tonight, man?
and so what if we did insinuate it? What so what? Now what?
They just need something to fucking talk about because they got nothing else. They gotta fucking do shit like that.
Yeah. You can suck that fucking scumbag's asshole if you want.
Right.
You're probably one of the guys that was fucking terrified of him.
Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. This guy's fucking petrified. He's over here still fighting for his fucking daddy over there, the fucking piece of shit. You fucking scumbag. That's what I think about you. You fucking clown. So, in other news, we'll be moving along. So the latest is apparently, so what? JT's officially done over on Mickey's show or whatever, then, huh?
Yep.
What up, Carlos? How you doing tonight, man? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
But
Um,
I'd like to know whose choice it was, but
yeah, I didn't get to see the ending. I didn't get to see the ending of that show. I know he was going at him. He was going back and forth, upset about whatever happened that night that the Ripper came on. But I didn't see how it ended. So
right.
hold on a second. I got a fucking message about something. Sorry. Oh, I'm not sure. I have to read that after. It's a long message. Um. So yeah. So listen to this. I found a channel that has the videos from this fucking clown Silo,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to play this shit because I thought it was so funny. Because the other day, um, oh, I wonder if I can play this without getting struck. Let me see. The other day, you remember Eric went on Mickey's show or whatever, and he confronted Silo about fighting Kimbo Slice or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And Silo lied and claims that he never said that now. Well, check this out. Listen to this. Let me know if you can hear it.
That fight as well. So you had some big fights in there, Tony. Yeah. I only had like 3 or 4 that were really meaningful, to be honest with you. I had a lot of, back in the day, they had what called underground fights, more in your neighborhood, King James. Mm-hmm. And I fought a very, very big black guy down there, and I knocked him out once in Miami and once in the gym in Boston. Was it Data 5000? Was that? Data 5000? Is that who you knocked out? No. Oh, okay.
Well, that's like what Chavez Sr. Did. That's why he has over 100 fights, and people talk about him.
Well, you did a lot of backyard fighting down here? In Miami? Yeah. Oh, forget about it. You know what kind of money's involved in that? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's saying that he did, yeah.
Okay, so South Miami? South Miami area. Yes. My friend who passed away fought in the South. The guy at 5,000 is the guy who ran it down here in South Miami. Yeah, there was more money involved in that than there was in regular boxing matches, unless you were fighting the title.
Wait, what does that mean? So you're underground fighting. What is that?
Yes, in Perrine. You fought in Perrine, right? Correct? Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I'm confused. So it's not televised? What does it mean?
Like fighting like Kimbo Slice, like stuff like that?
Yes. Yeah. There's huge group down here. They actually did a Netflix documentary on that. Yes. I fought him twice.
Kimbo?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that Kimbo fight.
So hold on, let me rewind it real quick. This fucking asshole is on here telling them that he fought Kimbo Slice 2 times. And if you guys remember the other day when Eric mentioned something to Silo about the fight, he told him that he never said that or that he didn't fight him before. Well, this tape right here says otherwise, because this is Silo talking on Mickey's show, I believe, from February 14th of 2023, about 3 years ago.
Here, they actually did a Netflix documentary on that. Yeah. I fought him twice.
Kimbo?
Yes, I did.
Wow. I like that Tank Abbott Kimbo fight. That was crazy.
Tank Abbott was a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, that was a crazy fight.
Did you ever see that online gun fight when Kimbo lost to that cop?
That was that
Crow cop.
Listen, that's what I
I'm tired of that.
I want to say 20-something minutes straight.
Yeah.
I was there.
And both sides were trying to cheat and pull the guy out. It was hilarious.
Do you know who was at the fight?
Who's that?
Shit, Anthony Ari Radalola, whatever the fuck his name.
Who was there?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. No, he
So
wasn't.
he was in that fight with that cop and that.
So he says that he was at the fight. So there was a famous fight. If you guys haven't seen it, you can find it on YouTube. It was between Kimbo Slice and a Boston police officer named, I think his name was Sean Gannon or something like that. And Silo says it on this video, and he says it on another one, that he was at that fight. He says it was in Boston, I believe, and that he claims that Aralata was at the fight, witnessing it inside of a gym or something like that. Meanwhile, the fight happened in like an abandoned fucking office building or warehouse building, some shit like that. And it was in Rhode Island. It wasn't even in fucking Boston, the stupid asshole.
And Anthony said he had no idea what he was talking about.
He had no clue. Yeah. He says, I have no idea what he's fucking talking about. He wasn't at that fight. This is what a fucking compulsive liar fucking Silo is. He's the biggest jerk off on here.
Did you hear another thing he said? He said there's more money in underground fights than real fights. Meanwhile, all those guys he's talking about turned pro.
Yeah, why is that? If they were making all that money fighting underground, why would they all want to go to the UFC or fucking join boxing? You fucking stupid asshole.
Yeah.
They might have been betting on it like locally, like 10,000, 20,000 on your fucking guy or whatever, but that's about it though. I just find it hilarious that this guy's now on Mickey's show as our fucking co-host, and he gets confronted about shit that he said on here 2-3 years ago, and he's lying through his fucking teeth when it's on fucking audio and video. It's not just him saying it. You could watch the video. He's saying it on fucking stream. That's the funniest part. And this guy will fucking lie and say that he never said it. I mean, this shit. Mickey, you wonder why you get abused the way that you do, because all you do is surround yourself by the fucking bottom of the barrel YouTube fucking miscreants on here. As long as you'll kiss her fucking ass and tell her how great of a man her father was and that her brother's not a rat, then she fucking loves you. And we'll be getting into that because her brother is a rat, by the way. We're going to get into that at the, towards the end of the show. After we get over the Silo bit here. We'll have a little breakdown for you guys. But I just find it funny. I mean, that this guy's got the balls and audacity to come on here and fucking lie about something that he said multiple times on a variety of different fucking shows. And we'll sit up there with a straight face and act surprised when you ask him questions about shit that he said on here before. It's fucking unbelievable, man.
You said he was in the military. Then he told someone that he wasn't.
Oh, I got that too. Here, I got that one queued up too. I got 3 of them that we're gonna go over. Let me play this one. This one's a good one too. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, right here. So, this video right here, if you guys want to go to the actual video, it's called Tony Silo was in the Navy for 2 weeks, his own words, and heavily censored DD-214. Navy boxer ? On the Fat Bald Cop Callers channel, right? So let me play this. And on the screen, I just don't want to get struck by them, so I'm not putting it up. But on the screen, they have a zoomed in of the fake DD-214 that he put up. I believe it was on Mickey's show, and I believe that Adam was on the panel with him when he did it. And somebody had called him out and said that there was a couple of things on the actual DD-214 that didn't make sense to what he said or his involvement in the military, whatever it was. And he got called out for it, right? But now recently, and I'll play this clip too, I think I have both of them, a woman was on Mickey's show, and she was mentioning something about the military, and she asked Tony Silo, well, you were in the military. What branch were you in? So you should know. And he says, I was never in the fucking military. Bro, what do you mean? You were literally on Mickey's show showing a DD-214 discharge paperwork from the military. So this guy's just a fucking total lying fucking fraud.
Well, how about the time he told fucking Kane Shades he was Vinnie Matalone, and Kane Shades was going, you're Vinnie Matalone? Like he was all fucking starstruck.
Yeah, he was. He was like, I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it was Vinny. I fucking knew it. It was like he met the fucking Pope or something. It was fucking hilarious. Oh my God. Kimbo, what did you say? Kimbo stayed at a hotel in Orlando. The guy was a beast. Yeah, could you imagine that Silo would have more than just pins and screws in his neck if he fought fucking Kimbo Slice? He'd be in a fucking pine box. The guy would have been crippled. Fucking crippled. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he swam across the fucking Atlantic. Yeah, could you imagine? I could only imagine the shit this guy tells people in private. Could you?
Yeah, I mean, he said he knocked out Kimbo twice. I mean, that's crazy. Like, I guess he didn't really know that people will look this shit up.
Well, I don't know if he didn't know people would look it up. I don't think he planned on people like screen recording it and saving fucking videos and shit like that to use against him later either. He doesn't seem too internet savvy, so to speak, because he said a lot of fucking stupid shit on here that has come back to bite him in this fucking ass. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I could only imagine, if JT's not welcome over on that show anymore, what kind of abuse they're gonna get from fucking him. I'll be tuning in for that. It should be fucking funny because he's got a lot of fucking material to work with. I can tell you that right now. It should be fucking entertaining, at the least. Oh, so this one doesn't. Let me see. Here.
Packaging store.
Hold on, I'm getting the audio. So on the DD-214, apparently Silo blacked out a couple sections on the paperwork. So you couldn't see what he was discharged for, a couple of the other identifying parts on there. So he must have known what he was doing with the sections that he blocked out. But whoever this is caught it and they blew it up on the stream or whatever. But this is what he said on the show. Hold on. Here.
Wait, I don't know. I was only in there for a couple of weeks. So whatever it was, and that's where I think it walked me around the corner. I want to ask you something. And that's when he told me about buying from the military and stuff like that. I think it was the packaging store, the packing store, something they call it. Jen's tried to explain it. I don't know. I was only in there for a couple of weeks. So whatever it was, and that's where
It says if you were only there for a couple of weeks, you wouldn't even have finished boot camp. So apparently now he's saying that his story was that. Hold on.
No, I don't know anything about the who.
What service were you in, Branch?
I wasn't in the service.
You were?
You're around the corner. I want to ask you something. And that's when he told me about buying from the military and stuff like that. I think it was the packaging store, or the packing store, something they call it. Jen's tried to explain it. I don't know. I was only in there for a couple of weeks. So whatever it was, and that's where they had it all worked out. They let me train because I had a fight that was coming. Instead of losing 4 months at Rikers Island, which is exactly what I was going to do, they gave me 2 months in this place.
With all the trolls you got, you can't come up with one guy to box. I'll box for this side, you guys box for that side. One fucking guy. I'm 56 fucking years old. I'm still willing to box anybody.
You did it before you finished your basic, correct? Is that what you're saying? You're saying that, right?
I boxed towards the end of basic, yes.
Right, okay. So you did it while you were in basic, right?
I can't answer every question on a letter. I wish I could.
Huh.
The guy's been 56 for fucking 5 years now.
Yeah, no shit. What did he say? He's 57 or something the other day. That was like 4 years he's been on here, right?
Yeah.
Literally everything that comes out of that guy's mouth is fucking straight bullshit. You can't believe a word of what he says because he gets caught lying about everything. So in that clip right there, you can hear the woman clearly ask him on Mickey's show, well, you were in the military. What branch were you in? And he says that I was never in the military. And he was acting all surprised, like why this woman asked him that. The woman asked you that because you've said on the same show that you were in boot camp for the military and that you got discharged because you got caught banging the admiral's daughter. And then after the fight, they gave you 6 or 7 P coats. Remember that? I mean, this guy is the biggest fucking clown I've ever come across in my life. He's a fucking straight jerk off. And that's Mickey's co-host right now. And she wonders why people fucking can't stand her or anybody on her fucking panel. It's not that people are jealous or just want to attack any of the new people on your channel. You just happen to platform all the fucking degenerates and scumbags in this community that have outstayed their welcome and aren't wanted anywhere else. That's all it is.
You watch one day, like if he's not doing YouTube videos anymore and he tells somebody that he used to be Angel's co-host, he's going to tell the guys, yeah, I banged her.
Oh my God, yeah, I know. Could you imagine? I can only imagine the shit he tells people in private, like, hey, you guys know who John Gotti is, right? I do a show with his daughter. It's a dear friend of mine. I know them for
I couldn't get her to blow me. She wouldn't stop talking about her father.
Right? Unfucking believable, man. He's got to be the fucking biggest. I mean, he's definitely got to be the biggest single-handed fucking liar that I've ever come across on here. I don't know one that I could think of that would take his spot on that. There's been a lot of LARPers on here, but he's at the top of the fucking list if you ask me.
Yep. Now we're hearing that he's got some type of DV situation.
Has that been verified?
No, it hasn't been verified yet, but there's smoke.
Well, I remember Mickey alluding to him doing something that was so heinous or whatever that if anybody found out about it, they would never want to speak to him ever again. And now he's her co-host, so. But then again, listen, she's had fucking Nazis as co-host, kid diddlers as co-hosts and shit. So should we be surprised that he might have beaten a fucking girl up once or twice? I'm not.
It's amazing the people that she has supporting her.
Well, like I said, as long as you'll go over there and you'll tell her what a fucking great man her father was and that her brother's not a rat, you got carte blanche to fucking get a spot on her show and get a wrench. That's all you need to do. You know?
Yeah.
It's literally fucking pathetic if you ask me. But then again, when you look at her, you'll understand fucking why. Steve said, "Common, yeah, I remember that too. Angel definitely had something on him." Oh, fucking 100%, absolutely. If you guys remember, we've spoken about it on here before. When Purple Nose Mark over there, my dude, was threatening to put out information he had on her old co-host Marla for allegedly having some type of affair with that Vinny Green guy. You remember Vinny Green, right?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, the guy he was pretending to be the Bonanno fucking capo, Vinny
Yeah.
Green, whatever, that got caught putting up the fake computer and shit like that.
Yeah.
So apparently, or allegedly, I should say, Angel's old co-host Marla had some type of fucking affair or sexual relationship with the guy. They met up or whatever. I don't know if this is true. This is just what I heard. I'm not saying that this happened. This was allegedly what was going on. And apparently Purple Nose had some information about it, and he threatened to put it out on his channel. So at the time, he was still friends with Silo, and Silo was going on his show, and they were talking about boxing or had plans to do some boxing shows or some shit like that. And Mickey basically told my dude that if you put out this information on fucking Marla and whoever else he had, that she would tell everybody this information that she had on Silo that she found out. And it was so disturbing and so disgusting that if anybody found out about it, nobody in this community would ever talk to him ever again. And now he's her co-host. So either Mickey was bluffing and she was full of shit, just trying to scare him and not to talk about her friend Marla, or what she had on him was fucking true, and for whatever reason, now she's not talking about it, and she's platformed him and made her his co-host. I don't know. But you can bet me that when she made that threat, she definitely had something on him. Because I don't think she would have done that if she didn't. I don't think she would have made that up.
Well, evidently they didn't say what it was that she didn't want them to say.
Well, yeah. So all we're drawn to is conclusions, and from what I heard, there may or may not be some type of incident involving Silo being a DV boy. And it's kind of funny because he's also the person that made that DV boy saying popular when he was calling Kane Shades that back in the day for all the DVs that he had, like 4 of them or something like that.
What's up, Drum Capella?
Drum's in here? Oh, what's up, Drum? How you doing, man? Good
Yeah,
to see
he
you.
goes on the Brooklyn Music now.
Oh, okay. What's up, Drum? Good to see you, man. How are you? What did he say on here? Oh, that's that. Yeah, you might be right, Armand. To be honest with you, that's a good point too. Fucking Fibby is a fucking stone cold liar too. So he could give Silo a run for his money. That's for sure. I don't know which one of them's a bigger fucking liar. That's a toss up.
Yeah, true.
That's a good one. So all right. So I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but Hal, did you get a chance to watch the Joey Merlino show the other day that I sent you?
Yeah, I watched it.
All right. So I want to play some of this, and if you guys can, go over to the Skinny podcast, The Skinny with Joey Merlino and Little Snuff. It's the full episode 34, and the title of the show is John Gotti Jr. a rat? All right. And for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm going to play a little bit of it here, and then we're going to talk about exactly what's going on here. So give me 1 second. Let me load this up.
Listen up, Jim Terry.
Yeah, listen up. Let me, I'm going to pull up I want to pull up one more thing, and then we'll get going. I want to pull up the 302 real quick. I think this is it. 1 second. Here, I'll play some of this while I'm pulling this up. So here. And you could go to about 17 minutes, I believe, is when they start on this episode talking about it. And if you guys can, please go check out the Skinny podcast. Go to 17 minutes. This is episode 34. Check out their channel. They got
give them a like and subscribe
over there. Yeah, we're gonna play some of this. You guys can check it out, and then we'll give you our thoughts on it. So, here we go.
On Patreon, just ask Joey a question: is John Gotti Jr. a rat?
100%, 1,000%.
And that's the most asked question in any genre. YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, Apple.
We're getting this for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1,000%.
33 episodes. That was everybody's question, and we're going to show.
Listen, I'm going to show you. I ain't just saying it. I don't.
Why is it breaking up?
fuck's going on? Is it playing?
No, it's like freezing.
Oh, what the fuck?
It's that cheap internet you have.
Cool. And I'll never.
But we're going to start with the first.
Hold on.
Paper that we have, Chris, if you could put that up. By the way, shout out to our producer, Chris, Podcast Junkie Studio.
I got to put the glasses on. Queen for the day.
So
the Department of Justice.
Okay.
I ain't making this up. This is from them. Queen of the day. Calmly called, proffer.
Still breaking up, Common.
AUSA.
Yeah.
The defendant's purpose in this interview is prosecutors in hopes for cutting some type of deal, usually a favorable sentence recommendation, with the new and useful information from that you fucking did, with the people, and then it's up to them. They go out and investigate it.
Yeah.
They probably lock them up, whatever, get a case, and that's it. And anything he says can't be used against him.
So anything that he said that day, Queen of the day, he gets called down to the office. Right. They ask him questions that he wants to talk about. He gives up.
Yeah, well, it says it on the bottom. In exchange for a look at this information, the U.S. had promised not to use the Queen for a day statement, whatever he said.
Okay.
Or further information against the defendant in a later court proceedings. The person interviewed can be a witness, a person of interest, or a target of the investigation. A target is the person whom prosecutors believe committed the crimes. A person of interest is a person who the prosecutor believes had some role or involvement in the crimes.
In the crime.
Yeah.
And this has been something that's been said for years. Nobody ever wanted to talk about it.
I don't know why.
Yeah. And like you said, you have the paperwork, you have everything to back it up. Now, when he goes.
All right. So basically right now we're playing a clip from the Skinny podcast where I guess they had been getting asked repeatedly questions about his thoughts on whether or not John Gotti Jr. Was a rat. And basically, Joey Merlino was saying 100% he's considered a rat, and he's explaining exactly why. And basically what he's talking about now is that when John Gotti Jr. was finishing up his original case, I think it ended in the early 2000s, shortly before he was to get released or right afterwards, he wound up catching a new indictment and the government was coming after him again. A lot of it was due to the testimony and information that the government was getting from Mikey Scar's DeLeonardo, right? And Junior went in basically and decided to do a Queen for a day and was trying to basically get the government to drop the indictment against him to try to find his way out of it by claiming that he was no longer in the mafia for the last 5 years, so they had to drop the indictment against him because the RICO law couldn't apply because he hadn't committed any Gambino crime activities within that time frame. So they're talking about that right now on the show, so keep listening for a minute here.
Who's into jail? How come he never talks about this, that he did this? Was this never brought up?
I guess he thought it was just
okay to do.
Well, under the rug, like nobody would find out.
Yeah.
And then it came out. I mean, I got the 302s. I got six fucking five-page 302. He implicated 32 people in crimes.
32.
He implicated his own father.
Well, that's what I want to show now.
And then he says in some, I read, you sent me that New York Times.
New York Times posted it.
He said anybody he told on never went to jail. That's a fucking lie. You told on fucking you mentioned Danny Marino and Joe Watson there. They both went to jail.
Yeah, they both went to jail.
Yeah, so we're gonna be getting into that in just a minute here too, because what they're talking about is the 5-page 302 from the proffer session that Junior had with the government with his then attorney. I believe it was Jeffrey Lichtman at the time, and basically during the proffer agreement or the proffer session that they had, Junior Gotti mentioned 32 different individuals that were involved in various crimes while he was involved in organized crime with the Gambino family. Some at the time his father was alive, and then other people that weren't. Now, he claims that nobody was ever put into jail. He never took the stand on anybody, and nobody ever did any time, and that all the people that he mentioned in this proffer 302 were already deceased at the time. which we're going to get into after we're done playing this and explain to you why that's a lie and why everything that he said afterwards is all complete fucking bullshit.
In case, yeah.
Oh, you're right. And he goes and sees his father for, it's like a 60 minutes interview.
Yeah, his poor father. He's probably rolling in his fucking grave.
And his father was sick at the time.
Yeah.
He had cancer.
I didn't know his dad, but he was a hell of a man.
Yeah. I mean.
I was in Marion.
Yeah. How bad is that?
He was there 9 years. There's no air conditioning. It's fucking hot as balls.
Yeah.
He could have got out. Me and him had the same counselor.
Okay.
I went there years later.
Yeah.
She was there for 25 years. She told me, she said, first of all, they killed him.
That's crazy.
They have no dentist in there. It started with a tooth. Then it went down to his throat. He got throat cancer, whatever. They got no dentist there.
Yeah.
Fucking take you 2 years to get a dentist. He could have got out. She said, it's like a step down program. He could have got out like 18 months to 2 years. All they wanted him to do was sign a paper. And he refused to sign it.
What did the paper have on it?
Something fucking Gambino found he would not sign it. Never signed it.
And that's how he dies like an animal.
His father probably rolled in the fucking grave.
Well, that's what we're going to show because it was a 60-minute interview, and then we'll show everything else. When he goes to his father.
He didn't tell nobody. He told on the lawyer.
He told on the lawyer. You'll see it right here.
Jojo Carrazzo, he told him. He said he was giving messages to his father.
That's amazing. Can you play that?
Okay, so they're not just talking about the proffer here. They're talking about the 60-minute interview that John Gotti Jr. did after his trials ended. I forget what year it was. It was like probably 2010, 2012, somewhere around that time frame. And he's telling the person that he's having the interview with about how Joseph Carrazzo, the attorney, Jojo's son, was passing messages between him and his father, basically telling on Joseph Carrazzo, the attorney.
For us.
The extraordinary meeting took place in a prison conference room with the father, badly disfigured by surgery for throat, neck, and mouth cancer, sitting directly across the table from his son, who wanted to turn his back on a life his father had pulled him into.
My father starts off by saying, I received the message that John wants closure. And I looked at my father, and again, we're being monitored, so we have to be very careful how we communicate.
He says the agenda had been discussed with his father in advance by family attorney Joe Carrazzo, and that closure meant not just pleading guilty, but quitting the mob. The Don responded by making fun of the word.
So Joseph told me, John wants closure. I said, Joseph, that's not that word ain't in my son's vocabulary. That's over-educated, unintelligent motherfucker. Like closure. It's a new 90s word I don't like.
For Gotti Sr., the idea of giving in went against everything he believed in.
He's, fight, fight, fight. If you accuse me of robbing the church and the steeple sticking out of my backside, I'm going to deny it. And I can't reach him.
He just told him.
Now, we're going to get into this later. I'm just pausing it so we can talk about this, so I don't want to get struck here. But basically, if you guys remember any of the subsequent interviews that Junior did, I think on Patrick Bet David and a couple of the other interviews, he claims that his father had given him permission and shelved him, right? That was his excuse for why he could sit down with the government, because he said that he was a civilian at that time and that he was no longer in the mob. He got permission to walk away and that he was shelved. Okay, don't forget this. We're gonna get back to it.
The lawyer.
Yeah,
60
relaying
minutes.
messages back and forth.
The lawyer, Jojo Carrazzo, he's saying he's bringing messages to his father about whatever they fucking discuss.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? You told him 60 minutes.
And the father says, closure. That's not in your vocabulary. That's not in my son's vocabulary.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with pleading guilty.
Okay.
The father was against that, which I don't agree. As long as you don't hurt nobody. You take your own plea, and you don't hurt nobody, you don't cooperate, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
If you're dead. But, I mean...
They made a whole show about it. Like, he was basically asking his father, like, is it okay if I do this?
He's 100% a rat.
So let's go. Let's put the 302s up, Chris, so everybody can see. And like we said, this isn't our. You didn't make this up.
Listen, I didn't make these ain't typed. These are from the fucking FBI.
Yeah, I mean, it's right
the
there.
U.S. attorney.
So we'll put that up for everybody to see. And Joe, for people who don't know and don't understand this, Queen for the Day is something else. Is when you proffer the same thing?
Same thing. He told on. Well, he says he told on dead people. You still told. Fuck, they're dead, living. You still told. Like guys say, oh, you told on a cop. You still told.
Yeah.
He told. There's 32 people he implicated in crimes. They're all highlighted. And then he said everybody he told on was dead or whatever. No, they weren't. He told on Danny Marino Sr. right here.
Yeah.
About an incident. You told on Joe Watts. You even told on your own father. You said Joe Watts admitted involvement in a murder, and he did his first murder with his father, whoever the fuck they said it was. You told on cops. You told on everybody. He even told on Rats. Told him too. There's 32 people in here. You can read. I put them all up. You can read them all. I don't know if these other people. I don't know who they are. Yeah. They were partners with him with some kind of property deal he was trying to do. I don't know if they got indicted. I have no idea. I don't know. I never heard of him. He told on everybody.
All right. So I think you guys can pretty much understand what Joey's talking about here regarding the 302s. And for those of you who don't know, I think it was 2015 around that time, John A. came out and he wrote a book called Gotti's Rules. And inside of that book, he put the 5-page 302 that he was given. And that was the first time it really came out. I think back in 2005 or 2006, the New York Post had put a photo out of a picture of Junior with a rat head on him, saying that he was a rat because they were getting information that he had sat down and spoken to the government. But nobody at that time ever actually had the physical paperwork. That didn't come out until years later, even after all of his trials. So something that I believe occurred is that from whatever their sources are, they got information that Junior actually sat down and took this proffer session, what they call Queen for a day, right? And you'll remember in the 2009 trial, Joe O'Kane actually took the stand in Junior's defense. He was approached by the government, by the feds, and said basically that if they would come in and testify for the government, they would basically give him a get-out-of-jail-free card. And Junior talks about this in the CBS 60 Minutes interview. And Joe O'Kane refused. And I always wondered, I was asking Howie one time, because Howie knew Joe O'Kane. And I asked him, I says, why would Joe O'Kane agree to testify on Junior's behalf if everybody thought that Junior was a rat? And the only conclusion that we could draw is that nobody actually had the physical paperwork on him at that time. And that goes back to something that we spoke about on the show a week or so ago when we were speaking about MRE, right? When we're accusing him of cooperating with the government due to his disappearing cases and the lies that he's told on here and the deflection from the fact that he's got sealed paperwork and everything else. And they say, oh, well, who did I tell on? Well, we don't know. You're the one that fucking did it. It's the same situation with Junior is, yeah, you can call the guy a rat, but if you don't have any paperwork on it, it's only hearsay, basically. It's only your word saying it. It doesn't mean that it's not true, because look what happens years later. It comes out. John A. releases a book and puts his 302 in there, and now it's certified everything that people were saying all the way back in 2005, 2006 on the cover of the New York Post. So does that mean that it wasn't true for the 10 years that nobody knew about it? No, it was true. It's just that nobody had that paperwork or that proffer agreement to actually show paperwork for it. But he still did it. So what do you make about this, Al?
He's a rat.
Exactly. So now Junior goes on to say basically that all the people that he mentions in this proffer, in this 302 meeting, were either deceased or nothing ever happened to them. And I know you, Howie, know one of them personally. You want to speak about that?
Which one?
Wasn't it, don't you know Elfie or Gonzalez?
Gonzalez.
Who's the one that owed you money for the books that?
Oh, Elf, yeah.
Yeah, Elf, yeah.
Yeah, he was there. That you talking about the Silver murder?
Yeah. So if for the people that don't know or don't remember, there was a famous murder that Junior was getting fingered for back in a barroom fight. If the guy actually has a channel on here, there's a channel on here called Big Mark's channel. He does a lot of content on John Gotti Sr. and the Bergen Hunt and Fish Club. He's got a whole remake of the club, and he does stories and stuff. His name's Mark Caputo. He has a channel on YouTube now called Big Marks, Behind the Red Door or something like that. He was actually one of the individuals that was with Junior Gotti and present at the Silver Fox bar when this murder took place. And there was a famous, I guess now infamous hanging that occurred shortly afterwards that Junior talks about in this 302, where he places his father, who was deceased, Angelo Quack Quack Ruggiero, and Joe Watts, saying that they framed the hanging to make it look like it was a suicide, but they actually killed the guy. And Junior's talking about that in the 302. But during this proffer, when he's talking about the events that occurred that night at the Silver Fox, he mentions people that were at the bar with them, and somebody getting stabbed named Elfie. With Junior Gotti claims that he stabbed him, I believe, in the elbow or with a broken piece of glass, something like that he got from another individual named Amoroso. And he's claiming all these people are dead, but the guy wasn't dead because Howie knew him up until the day Howie was
right. Yeah, I missed that part with what you said probably before. Yeah, no, Alfie was alive and well. He wasn't dead.
So one of the people that Junior's talking about being with at the bar when the guy got killed, Alfie, was absolutely not dead at the time that he did this 302. This was back in 2005, 2006, and Alfie actually, I believe he owed you a bunch of money for sports betting, right?
Only 3,000.
Well, 3,000 is 3,000, decent piece of change, regardless.
Yeah.
So that was a lie. And then he goes on to talk about how nobody was inconvenienced or spent any time in prison. If you can show anybody that was, to let everybody know. Well, I'll show you right now that one person that he mentions in here, and I'll pull this up on the screen now for you guys, was Danny Marino, Sr., Danny Marino, right here. Now, you guys will see the heading of this article. This is from the Department of Justice, the FBI.gov. It says 9 Gambino crime family members sentenced in Manhattan federal court for racketeering, murder conspiracy, extortion, sex trafficking, and other crimes. And I want you to go down to this part right here where it talks about Danny Marino. I'll highlight that part here. Danny Marino, a longtime member of the Gambino crime family, was a boss who presided over at least 200 fully inducted or made mafia members, as well as hundreds of associates who committed crimes on behalf of the family, right? And then it goes down right here to the murder of Frank Heidel. And it says, in 1997, suspicion arose within the Gambino family that Frank Heidel, Marino's nephew, was a cooperating witness with law enforcement, which he was. Based on these suspicions, various Gambino family members and associates plotted to kill Heidel and sought Marino's approval for the hit. In his guilty plea, Marino admitted that he gave his co-conspirators the green light for the murder to proceed. Upon Marino's authorization to kill Heidel, various Gambino family members and associates lured him to a strip club in Staten Island, where he was shot 3 times in the face and back. Heidel, 31, died in the strip club's parking lot. Okay? Now, why is this important? Well, this is important because in John Gotti Jr.'s 302s, and give me a second so I can pull that up, John Gotti Jr. talks about Danny Marino okaying a murder of his nephew. So 1 second. Let me pull that up.
So there goes his excuse that he never hurt anybody.
Yeah, all bullshit. And we're going to get into each one of them here because I'm going to share it on the screen so you guys can follow along. So let me know when this is up on the screen.
It's there.
It's there? Okay. So I want to go down here. Let me find the part to it. Well, I got to look through this real quick. 1 second. For some reason, when I'm pulling it up, it goes blank for a second. I don't know why. 1 second. Let me just find this real quick. Oh, shit. I don't know why it's doing this. It keeps disappearing. What the fuck is going on? Is it blank on the screen? I think my internet's giving out. That's
yeah, it's blank now.
Well, is it? All right, hold on. Sorry. I don't know why it's doing this. It keeps refreshing the page for some reason, and I'm not sure why. Let me pull it up somewhere else. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second.
There's something there now.
No, it wants me to sign in. It keeps sending me to another page. Hold on. I gotta get it from a different site. I'm just trying to pull up the 302 so we could read this along so I could show you exactly what we're talking about here real quick. I'm gonna have to pull it up from a different site though. Hold on. I want to get the whole 302 so you can read it. Let me see if this works. All right, let me see. Sorry, guys, bear with me. I apologize for this. Oh, this is really annoying. My fault, guys. Well, I'm trying to pull up a part here. I'm trying to pull up the part when he's talking about the murder that they okayed for Jimmy Heidel, his brother, back when Anthony Casso picked up the brother. And the reason, well, I'll have to find it and I'll have to pull it up. I'm sorry, guys. For some reason, this thing's giving me a headache right now. I'm trying to find the part to it. Give me one more second. Let me try to find this real quick. I know it's in here. I'm trying to pull up the part where he talks about Danny Marino okaying the murder and then the Joe Watts part, too. Oh, yeah, right here. I got it. All right. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Let me remove this. I got to add a different one. That's annoying. Share the screen. 1 second. 302 right here. All right. This is it. Let me know when it's up there.
Yeah.
You guys see it?
Yeah.
All right, right here. So this is part of John Gotti Jr.'s 302 right here, and it says Gotti Jr. provided the following as background. Angelo Ruggiero was put on the shelf by Gotti Sr. after the murder of Jimmy Heidel in 1986. Heidel was tortured and killed by members of the Lucchese organized crime family because he and others had shot and tried to kill Anthony Gaspipe Casso. The Lucchese family learned that Ruggiero was behind the attempt to kill Casso and demanded that Ruggiero himself be killed. Gotti Sr. was very close with Ruggiero and did not have Ruggiero killed. Instead, Ruggiero was placed on the shelf. Prior to Heidel's murder, members of the Lucchese family summoned Gambino family members Jimmy Brown Fiala and Joe Butch Correo to the location where Heidel was being held. According to Gotti Sr., Fiala and Correo were summoned to that location so they would be present when the Heidel admitted his and Ruggiero's involvement. In the attempted murder of Casso prior to the Lucchese family killing Heidel, Fiala and Correo obtained Gambino family member Danny Marino's approval to kill Heidel because, according to Gotti Jr., Heidel was Danny Marino's nephew. Even though Ruggiero had been put on the shelf, Gotti Jr. continued to meet with him in violation of mafia protocol. So why is this important, right? Well, so this is important because Jimmy Heidel, I believe, was Frank Heidel's brother. And Junior's basically telling the government that in order for Heidel to be murdered, his uncle, Danny Marino, would have had given the okay for it. So when his brother, Frank Heidel, in the early 2000s, winds up dying after his murder was okayed, he's basically stating that Danny Marino would have had to give that order to get him killed because that was one of his family members, right?
Right.
So Danny Marino was going to cop out. He had a case pending from 2007 where his original plea deal got ripped up and he was asked to plead guilty to okaying the murder of his other nephew, Frank Heidel, in the early 2000s based on information that they got from Junior and from Mikey Scars D. Leonardo. So Junior basically corroborated the information that Mikey Scars was giving to the government because he was cooperating at that time as well. So Heidel wound up having to take a plea deal, including the murder of Frank Heidel, for okaying the murder because Junior and Mikey Scars are telling the government that the only way for it to possibly been okayed and happen was they had to ask Danny Marino's permission, which he gave them. So Danny Marino had to plead out to that and took an additional couple of years on that plea agreement from that case due to the information that the government received from them. So he's full of shit when he says that nobody was inconvenienced or anything like that. And he says he never took the stand on anybody or had to finger anybody to put them in prison. Well, all the people took plea deals. So you wouldn't have to get on the stand because none of the guys went to trial. It goes back to the same thing with MRE. You know, who did I testify against? You know, what trials did I take the stand on? Well, probably nobody because the people probably took plea deals. They never went to trial. They all took plea deals, so you didn't have to get on the stand. And Junior makes some very interesting comments in a 60 Minutes interview, right? Where he talks about how without him, none of the information that the government got could have gone any further. This is words out of his own mouth. He claims that none of the information that he gave to the government during his proffer session could have gone anywhere without him. Basically saying that, yes, I'm giving the government this information, but if I don't want to continue moving forward with the cooperation, or you're not going to give me the agreement that I want and drop these charges against me, then I'm not going to continue to cooperate with law enforcement. And for whatever reason, whatever deal he was trying to get that broke down, maybe they wanted him to take the stand and he didn't want to do that because then he would officially be deemed a rat. And he was trying to save face by going in on the sneak and giving information behind the scenes without actually having to go forward and get full-fledged and sign on as a government cooperator. He was trying to do it on the sneak, basically on the sly, without anybody finding out about it. But unfortunately, that came back to bite him in the ass because it was leaked out. And that's how people like the people who wrote the New York Post articles in 2005, 2006 knew that he sat down with the government, and how John A. Light eventually got that paperwork that he put in his book, Gotti's Rules, in 2015, I believe, right? This was something that Junior never thought was going to come out. He was trying to do all this shit on the sneak, is what I'm getting at. Which is the most slimy fucking snake shit that I've ever heard of. But I want to give you guys one better, and I'm going to show you. Now, Junior claimed repeatedly, right, that his father, and if you guys watched the Patrick Bet-David interview that he did with Valuetainment, when he was on there, he has a whole new version of events that he previously said, the reason why he sat down and proffered with the government, right? He claimed that he was trying to ruse the government and to pull one over on them by going in there and feeding them some bullshit information to try to get them to drop their RICO charges and indictment against him, basically, right? By giving him this cockamamie story that he walked away from the life and that he was a civilian now. And I want you guys to listen to this. I'm gonna play it, and you guys can go over to Patrick Bet-David's channel and check out the interview if you guys can. I'll put the link in the description. I want to play this for you guys. Add this to the stage, and I want you to hear what he says about it.
The death penalty. They dropped it, and I was broke at that point. So my lawyers had to work on oil and gas. I had to keep things moving, and I had to pay those bills eventually. But still, we remedied the case, but yet they had the audacity, because of a 40-minute meeting that I had with them.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Sorry, guys.
That according to their cooperators, now think about this for a second. I told you, Sammy Gravano never went to all these different personalities and told these personalities that I'm thinking about going and becoming a cooperator, and tomorrow morning I'm going to be debriefed tomorrow. Wish me luck, guys. Right? Well, I did that meeting. I did a meeting for 40 minutes. Took two attorneys with me, two attorneys.
When you met with the Fed.
And
that's where.
An agent.
Right.
An agent and a prosecutor and an assistant prosecutor at the courthouse. I went to that meeting. I called for that meeting. I did it. I orchestrated it. Not my lawyers, not them. I did it. I said, I want to meet with them. My lawyers said to me, what do you want to do? You just make the meeting. You just make the meeting. They says, no, John, please. You just I pay you, you don't pay me. Make the meeting. I know what I'm doing here. I got this. Don't worry about it. I said, John, if you're going to become a rat, please let me know so I can get out of here. I said, just make the meeting. I got this. Okay. Now, according to three different cooperators, two mainly testified against me, and a third cooperator that never testified against me, but he was the most powerful of all the cooperators. Okay. They all said that this is what happened. Before I went in, they said I had a meeting, a clandestine meeting in prison with Vinny Gorgeous Basciano. They accused him of being the acting boss of the Bonanno family. Really good man, solid guy. Never knew him on the streets, never met him on the streets, but I met him in prison. And they said while we were in the bullpen together, he and I, that he followed my lead. I hatched a plan that I was going to go in and do what's called an innocence proffer. An innocence proffer, and go in to establish an alibi, and I was going to testify on my own behalf in my trials. And he suggested that he would do it as well. He said to me I'm going to follow your lead. This is not according to me. This is according to the government cooperators. He referred to me, says, John, I'm going to follow your lead. What you do, I'm going to do. Okay? Now, they also went on to say that before I went in, this was cleared with Vinny Basciano. They said it, not me. Steve Vittabile. Steve Vittabile is accused of being for 30 years the number 3 guy in the Cavalcanti family in New Jersey. Joe Arcuri, elder statesman, wonderful man, who they claim was on the panel ruling the Gambino crime family. Alphonse Siska, who they accused him of being a high-ranking captain in the Gambino family. Arnold Squitieri, who the government accused of being the acting boss of the Gambino family. And Joe Messina. Now, Joe Messina verified it. Joe Messina, again, he was confessed boss of the Gambino.
All right. Well, first of all, I'm going to pause it right there just to say this, that's an absolute lie. Joe Messina never, as far as I know, ever came forward and said anything regarding him having any acknowledgement about this plan that Junior had. Now, remember, Junior claimed that when he took that meeting with his father at Marion before his father passed away, that's all on recording. Mikey Scars has played it on his channel. He claims previously that his father gave him permission to walk away and that he told everybody that he was shelved for life. So Junior's claiming I'm a civilian at this point. I could defend myself and do whatever I want because I'm not in that life anymore. But in the 60 Minutes interview that Junior does, we were showing it earlier on the Joey Merlino podcast. He was playing the clip of it where he says, I'm asking my father for permission to take this plea and to walk away. And he says, I can't get through to him. He doesn't want to hear any of it. And what he says afterwards is, that day, the next morning I woke up, I told them, I'm not taking the plea. I'm taking the case to trial. So does that sound like the father giving him permission to shelve him and walk away for life? Or does it sound like he's admitting that his father told him, you're not going to do this. You're going to fight the government because they're not going to stop. They're going to keep coming after you. And I don't want you taking that plea deal. He admits it and says that his father convinced him to take his case to trial. And right before he was ready to go to trial, the morning of, he went in and he took the plea agreement. That's what he's talking about. So he's lying about all this, but keep listening.
The Bonanno family ultimately flipped. I loved Joe like an uncle. He made my cake when I went away to military school when I was 14 years old for me. He owned a bakery. His family, I knew his family very well. His wife, wonderful person. I knew his daughters. They were a beautiful family. But yet, this is the government cooperators saying, I sent these messages and they all had different input. Vittabile supported it. Arcuri supported it. Basciano was on board and doing it with me, according to government cooperators. Arnold Squitieri did not support it. Alphonse Siska did not support it. Joe Messina at first had reservations, sent a message back to me, which he did. He sent a lawyer to see me, and the lawyer would verify it. The lawyer was, tell him, I love him. He's going to be perceived as a rat. My response back was, go back and tell Joe, I love him right back. I'm a civilian. I had my father put me on the shelf, okay? I'm a civilian. I march to the beat of my own drum. I'm showing respect for my father's life. I'm showing respect for people that I adore, that I love. I'm giving them that respect, but I don't have to. I could fight as a civilian. As long as nobody gets hurt, as long as not one person gets a subpoena as a result of anything I do, as long as not one person got indicted for something I said in my life, I would kill myself. I would rather do 100 years in prison
Okay. So I think you guys can get the gist. And Frankie, I absolutely agree with you 100%. If he loses that trial, he goes in and he flips right away, which is exactly what Joe Messina did in 2004. Joe Messina blew trial. Right after he gets convicted, he agrees to sign up to become a cooperator and to become a federal witness, right? Which is the same thing Junior would have done had he got convicted in any one of those trials. And I don't care who the fuck wants to argue or say that he wouldn't. That's exactly what he would have done. What do you think, Al? So, you there, Hal?
Yeah.
Oh, I lost you. No, I was saying, what do you think about that? I think that if he gets convicted on any one of those trials, he winds up flipping right afterwards.
Yeah, I believe he would do that.
Yeah, and you got to remember, this was right at the time when Joe Messina. Now he's saying in here that he went to Joe Messina, right? And he said that Joe Messina knew about his plan to go in and sit down with the government and do what they're calling an innocence proffer, defense proffer, and that he was going to take this stand in his own trial. And he claims that while he was in the bullpen with Vincent Basciano, that Vincent Basciano also agreed to do the same thing and said, "I'll follow your lead." So then my question is, well, how come you never went in and took the stand in your trial then? How come he never got on the witness stand and testified on his own behalf if that was his plan? Why didn't he do it? Because neither one of them did.
Right. I mean, it was total bullshit. He said he got permission from other people in the Gambino family as well, which is
exactly
total nonsense.
And he's completely contradicting everything that he said during his 60 Minutes interview and what he said previously. He did an interview with Frank Morano, and I got that queued up. I'm going to play it too, where he gives insight onto what his thought process was. I want you guys to hear this, and then we'll break everything down. Let me take this down real quick, and I want you to hear what he says on this interview right here with Frank Morano. And one of the clips that is no longer on his website. Now, this is from John Gotti's YouTube page. You guys can go and check it out. It's called The Shadow of My Father interview. There's 4 parts to it. There was another part that got taken down where Junior actually admits that he had a moment of weakness and that he had getting even to do with some of his father's enemies. And 2 of those people that he's referring to are Joe Watts and Danny Marino. Okay? That part he removed from the post that we're on here, but it used to be on YouTube before. But listen to what he says here about what he did.
No longer in the mob anymore. And here I am. I don't belong to the government. I don't belong to the mob. And I'm fighting another 110-year case. And it led me in that direction. I asked for a meeting. I went in. I had a meeting with them. It was kind of odd, the meeting, because it really didn't amount to much of anything. It was information that I knew couldn't be brought any further. In fact, looking back now today, over 10 years, has anybody other than myself ever been inconvenienced as a result of that?
Yes.
Name one person. If you can name one person that was inconvenienced as a result of that meeting, I'll throw myself on the mercy of anybody who wants me to. Not one individual was ever charged with a crime, was ever even subpoenaed. Fictitiously, was subpoenaed when Otto went out there and said, thank John and Charlie for this as a result of our trial. And after the trial was over, the subpoenas were dismissed. They didn't exist anymore. But as a result of the things that I had said, nothing ever happened, and I knew nothing could happen without me. That being said, okay, from now until I take my last breath on this planet, I'm going to regret that decision. Because to me, it showed a moment of weakness. It showed weakness on my part. It stays right here in the middle of my heart. It bothers me. I can't even have discussions about it. I wouldn't discuss it with Charlie, my attorney and friend. If he brings it up, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to.
Okay, so now you hear what he's saying here. He's basically admitting that I had a moment of weakness. I don't even want to talk about it or discuss the fact that I went in there and I sat down with the government. Right now, I thought you said now so that interview that he did was probably about like 13, 14 years ago, maybe 15 years old now. And you hear the Patrick Bet-David interview that he did just a couple years ago, within the last like 2 years, I would say. And he's got a whole new story and explanation for what happened that he's never said before at all. And I'm gonna break that down in just a minute to show you what a fucking liar that this guy is. Now, he claims in this interview that he admits he had a moment of weakness, right? He's saying that I had a moment of weakness. I went in there and sat down with the government and sat down with the feds and gave them information, but that nobody was hurt from any of the information that he gave because it started and stopped with me. Now, when he's doing the interview with Patrick Bet-David, he's trying to tell Patrick Bet-David that this was a whole ruse that he had, that his father had placed him on the shelf, that everybody knew about it, right? And that he was going in there and he was trying to game the feds and have this whole withdrawal defense from the mafia. And he shouldn't be indicted or charged with any of these crimes because he hadn't been involved in organized crime business for the last 5 years, which is something they would have needed to prove, right? So what is it? Did you go in there as an innocence proffer and defense proffer and say that, you can't be charged with this because you're not guilty? Or did you go in there and try to lie to these guys and game them in order to drop the indictment against you? Because you can't have it both fucking ways. And then in one breath, he's telling everybody that he's a civilian, that his father shelved him. But in the other breath, he's saying that he's going to active organized members of crime who were alive and well at that time and talking to these guys. If you get shelved in the mob, nobody is allowed to speak to you or address you. And if you got shelved by Gotti Sr. while he was alive and told everybody about it, none of these men would ever talk to you about anything ever again. That's how it works. So which one is it? What do you think about that? You there, Al? Oh, I think I lost him. Well, so listen, guys, at the end of the day, like I said, he originally went in there. He goes in and tells everybody that he had a moment of weakness and that he regrets it till this day that he ever sat down with the government and gave them any information and makes him sick to his stomach. And in another breath, he's trying to tell everybody. Now, don't forget, he's trying to tell everybody to go and ask government cooperators whether or not he's telling the truth. And he goes, you can go and look at these 3 government cooperators. And he's talking about Dominic Cicali. He's talking about Joe Messina. And the other one I believe he's talking about is Sal Vitale. He doesn't mention them, but that's who I believe he's talking about. And he wants people to, now they say that government cooperators are what? They're nothing but liars. They go in and tell the government whatever bullshit they want to hear. They lie through their teeth. You can't believe a word of what they say. And then in the same breath, he's telling everybody to go and ask these government cooperators what he's claiming is the truth is about his cooperation and his plan to go and sit down with the fucking government. So why is it convenient that whenever you, and I've said this a million times before when they did this whole we push back thing and said that all government cooperators are liars. They don't tell the truth about anything. They'll lie through their teeth and say whatever they want to get out of trouble. But then at the same time, when you need one of these government cooperators to corroborate something you're trying to say or something you're trying to put out there, you want to go and hang your hat on the testimony and information from a government cooperator. I'm sorry, but you can't have it both ways. And at the same time, they're saying that government cooperators and federal witnesses will go in and lie to the government to get out of their own crimes to try to get these deals. And you can't believe anything that they say. And then he says that when he went in to sit down with the government, he fed them a bunch of bullshit that he knew was lies, basically, that the government couldn't have used or used against anybody because he was lying about it. So then what the fuck does that make you? A lying rat too? Because you're admitting that you're knowingly going in, sitting down with the government for a proper session, and then lying to them or feeding them information that you claim is bullshit. Well, isn't that the exact thing that you claim you're fighting against when you're writing books and working on projects called Witsec Mafia, where you claim that the government protects these cooperators and informants and allows them to lie and commit perjury on the stand in order to secure convictions? But then you turn around and you go and take a meeting with the government and then you lie about a whole bunch of other people trying to get yourself out of your own indictment that the government has against you. That's called being a fucking hypocrite. If you guys haven't already, if you can, please hit that like button if you enjoy this content. If anybody would like to help donate to the show, I got the Cash App, Venmo, PayPal at the bottom of the screen here. Much appreciated. Thank you guys very much. And I want to get into this other thing, right? So Junior's claiming that he asked permission from a couple of ruling panel members for the Gambino family, which I don't believe. This is the first time that anybody has ever heard of this before him saying it on the Patrick Bet-David interview. He's never mentioned this or spoke about it before. And how convenient all of the people are dead or would never come on YouTube and admit to any of this regardless. But then he says that he got permission from Joe Messina, right? Now, I want to give you guys a little timeline here. Joe Messina was tried and convicted, and he would have gotten life and died in prison if he didn't cooperate in the summer of 2004. And now, Frankie, I see that you're in the chat. Maybe you can correct me. I believe it was June of 2004 or July of 2004. When was it that Joe Messina blew trial and joined up with Team America? Do you know the exact date? Frank, was it June or July? And there's a reason for this. I'll get into it if you're still in the chat. Because Junior Gotti didn't get indicted until the summer of 2004. The minute that Joe Messina blew trial in 2004 2004, he immediately went in and cooperated. Immediately afterwards, he went in and asked to speak to the government after he blew trial, which is the exact same thing that Junior Gotti would have done had he lost any one of those 3 trials that he had. And nobody's going to convince me otherwise. The reason why he went in and sat down with the government was to leave the door open and let the government know, hey, I can possibly come in here and give you guys information if you'll give me a break. And if I do blow trial, you guys know that I've left that door open by sitting down and taking that original meeting with you guys and doing that proper session that we all have come to learn about now, that we're speaking about right now on this show, right? So I believe in July of 2004, Joe Messina blows trial and agrees to join Team America right afterwards, right? Junior gets indicted around the same time in 2004. Now, if Junior Gotti was an MDC that he claims in a bullpen with Vincent Basciano, Basciano had already blown trial, right, and got convicted and was facing a new indictment that would come up in 2005. Now, the problem for Junior in claiming that he cleared this with Joe Messina is that Joe Messina was cooperating with the government at the time that Junior Gotti claims he was in the MDC with Vincent Basciano, okay? The date on the 302 and that 5-page 302 that A-Light placed in his book that we've all learned about and read on here that we're all speaking about was dated January of 2006. And what we learned about this is that 302 wasn't drawn up or written until a year after Junior had already went in and sat down with the government and the feds. So that 302 that's dated January 2006 actually occurred in January of 2005. So in order for this story to be true, Joe Messina would have been cooperating at that time. Vincent Basciano, who was at MDC with Joe Messina, Messina was wearing a wire talking to Basciano while they were in prison together. That's how they wound up getting the indictment on Dominic Cicali, Anthony Aiello, and Vincent Basciano for the Randy Pizzolo murder. Now, that would have been something that Joe Messina, during his cooperation, would have had to tell the government, right? Because he would have learned about it while he was speaking to Basciano while they were in the MDC. But that never comes up. What Junior's asking people to do is to take Cicali's word for this proffer or innocence defense that they were going to use against the government to then testify in his own trials that they walked away from the mafia, and claims that Vincent Basciano was also going to do the same exact thing and testify on his behalf and claim that he also left the mafia. Well, then how come neither one of these guys ever took the stand at their trial in their own defense? Because he's lying. He's full of shit. It never happened. He's trying to explain the fact that he got outed by John A-Light and other people with this 302 when it got put out there, okay? For the mere fact that he knows what he did was ratting. And now he's trying to come up with excuses to try to justify what he did to the general public. But people on here know better than that. R.I.P. Uncle Floyd. I don't know who that is, but R.I.P. to him. So when you go back and you look at this, you know, Junior's claiming in the Patrick Bet-David interview, right, that he was a civilian at this time, that his father shelved him. Well, I'm sorry, but none of those guys in the Gambino family, and Mikey Scars talks about this himself on his show, is that he never heard anything about that. And I'm pretty sure Mikey Scars would have known about it, or I've heard about the time that he was shelved, considering the fact of how close he was, not only to the father, but also to Junior. They called the guy his right-hand man at one time. Hey, Frankie, now that you're in the chat, when was it that Joe Messina blew trial and got convicted and started cooperating? Was that June or July in 2004? If you want to come on and jump on the panel, Frankie, here, you can join. You want to hop on for a second? I don't think you've come on before. If you want to hop on and bullshit for a few. I won't be on here for much longer, but. Yeah, so July. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So, yeah, so Messina blows trial in July 2004 and then cooperates immediately after. And then Junior gets indicted in July of 2004. So the only way for this to possibly be true would mean that he didn't know Joe Messina started cooperating immediately after. And now this is a guy who usually does his homework. All right, Frankie, sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, come on, jump on. That's perfect. Maybe you could put some insight into this because you know a lot about this too, being involved in that case with those guys. So that'll be great if you come on here, please. So like I said, the fact that Joe Messina never told the government about any of this alleged cooperation or innocence proffer, because Junior's claiming Bassiano also wanted to do the same thing. While Messina was wearing a wire in the MDC with Bassiano, that was never discussed in any of the tapes. And I'm sure if it was, it would have got brought up during Junior's trials, because he used this defense during all three of his trials that he walked away from the life, that he hadn't been involved in any organized crime activity for the last 5 years. And that's how he eventually was able to secure the hung juries in all of his trials. So obviously we know that this is all bullshit, right? Let me take this down. Howie, you there or no?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Frankie's going to hop on for a second.
Yeah, let him hop on.
Yeah. So do you know anything about that? Have you heard anything about that otherwise when the Bassiano case with Messina? That's why I wanted Frankie to hop on, because I don't know if he knows any information about this or not.
Well, I mean, as far as what Junior said, like, you know, getting permission and talking to these guys, and it's all bullshit.
And you were out on the street with JoJo all the way up until what, 2009 or so, right?
2008.
2008, yeah. Did you ever hear anything from anybody on the streets anywhere around the 2000 after that time that Junior had gotten shelved or anything like that? Like, what were you hearing on the streets at the time you were out there? Anything or no?
No, I didn't hear anything about being shelved. I just heard he's a rat.
Yeah, and people were basically saying that basically in the streets all the way back into the early 2000s, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't understand, you know, what this guy's angle is. You know, obviously I think that he's trying to speak basically to the general public that doesn't know any better, because anybody that knows anything about how, you know, the streets work or how court works, anything like that, would never believe any of the shit that this guy's saying on any of these shows. I mean, it's fucking utterly ridiculous.
If you remember, okay, when Casman was wired up, he had a conversation with JoJo, and he mentioned John Jr., and JoJo told him forget about him.
Oh, I didn't know that. When was that?
I think that was around like 2005 or 6.
Really? So
Yeah,
he was talking to JoJo about something about Junior, and he said forget about him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Forget about Junior.
Gotcha.
Meanwhile, he had no fucking standing, you know, in anything.
Right. Well, I've even heard Mikey Scars. A few people I think asked him on one of his shows about it, and he said that he didn't hear anything about it and had no idea what the fuck he was talking about either. So.
Right.
Obviously, you know, what he's trying to do is just saving face, because I remember before when he was first planning on writing that book around 2015 or whatever, when he was going to put it out. What's your email? Shit. Can I text it to you, Frankie, or no?
Yeah, you can text it to him. Yeah.
Yeah, let me text it to you. Or he says he needs it in his email. I don't
Why? What's he got to do it through his computer?
Yeah, that's what I think he's talking about. Yeah. Hold me down for 1 second, Hal. Frank, what's your email? I don't know your email.
Yeah, sorry guys, but I was starting to fall asleep.
Damn, the show's that good. I'm putting Howie to sleep over here.
No, it's not that. I just, you know, you got a lot of information to put out, so I just was, you know what it is? In the beginning of the show, I ate a bowl of pasta with some chicken with Alfredo sauce, and it made me sleepy.
Yeah, you ate something that was too heavy, man. That shit does that to me too. Like if I eat heavy carb dish or something, I just want to pass out afterwards. Frankie, text me your email. I don't know what your email is, brother.
Why you gotta make things difficult, Frank?
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, what the fuck, man? I just texted you, Frankie. Let me see. You can't grab the link on your computer? I don't know why you can't do that. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I'm sending it to you right now, Frankie. Oh, I sent it to you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you text it to me, it works fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I just sent it to you, Frankie. Let me know if you got it. I wish I had the other video. I was trying to find it before I started the show so I can play it, but it looks like he took it down. Because he had
Which
done
video?
The one Junior did, it was with Frank Morano, because the one that's on his page was clipped. It was broken up into parts. There used to be like a long form without it being broken into pieces, because at one point during the conversation he's having with Frank Morano, he admitted that he had a moment of weakness and that he had getting even to do with two of his father's enemies, which he's referring to as Joe Watson and Danny Marino. And I think Scars told the story about it on his show one time, where they planned on killing Joe Watts and somebody else over the Big Apple construction because they were like skimming money. I think it was Johnny Gamarano Jr.
Yeah.
So they had invited Johnny Gamarano and Joe Watts to an apartment in New York City that Junior had pre-planned, and I think Scars and somebody else was there, and he had two guys waiting in a back room with body bags and shit like that. And I guess, Joe Watts being a seasoned, killer himself, and I guess there was some tension and shit going on. He wound up taking a limo to the meeting, and he had brought in somebody else with him. And Scar said that after the meeting they had in the apartment, Junior had made a comment to Joe Watts that if he knew he was going to bring somebody with him, that he would have brought an extra body bag, basically saying that Junior threatened to kill him. Frankie.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
What's up,
What's up, Frank?
Hey, what's up? What's going on? What's up? Yeah, I do that too. When I eat the whole fucking thing of pasta, I fall asleep.
Yeah, I know it does that shit to me too. I was just telling him I fucking pass out eat like that no more. You got a new mustache going on, huh?
Yeah. I didn't recognize me.
There you go.
You look like a longshoreman.
Thanks. Yeah, we work on the shipyard.
So what do you make of this, Frankie? I don't know how much of it you were watching or whatever, but I was playing.
I was. Yeah. Bullshit. Just bullshit. It's the arrogance is what gets me. It's if you knew this family, you'd understand what he does. There was a time where they just pissed all over people. Like they could tell you that color's red, right, and it's fucking blue, and you couldn't say nothing. So he thought by going, like the way he answers his lawyers, don't worry about it. I pay you. You tell me what to do. They're like, man, it's not a good idea going to these proffers,
Right.
He just didn't think it was going to come out. His intentions will go there to leave that enough door open that if he loses trial, he could always come back and go, you know what? Let's renegotiate. I talked to you guys already, so you know what I got. I gave you enough, but now since I lost trial, I'll give you everything. But what can you do for me?
Right.
So yeah, there's no question in my mind that if he loses trial, that he talks.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've always said that. I never believed for 1 second that that's not what he would have done. Because you got to remember, and he brings up Joe Messina, so obviously he knows what Joe Messina did in 2004. And if you look at the date on that proffer, the date that was written down on that proffer was January 2006, but that meeting actually occurred a year earlier in January of 2005. So that was only 5 or 6 months after Joe Messina had just blown trial and signed up and started cooperating immediately afterwards. So he knew
it was never done before. It was never done before. It's very hard to blow trial and then flip after. Because it's hard for the prosecutor to say now, yeah, well, why did he flip? Because he was looking at life. But before he was looking at life, it's easier to put him on the stand, you know?
Right.
But not everybody's Joe Messina.
You'd have to have you'd have to be a fucking big important person with a lot of information to be able to cooperate after you blew trial.
Well, that's exactly what it was. And you got to remember, at the time, Joe Messina was basically looked at as like the last Don. He was the last of the old regime, basically, of the old bosses that were still alive at that time, that weren't in prison or died at that time. You know what I mean? So the wealth of information that he had goes back, 40, 50 years with all the stuff that he knows. So he fit that profile in that bill. Because not many people would have been able to do that.
Yeah, the only person I know after that I was surprised he even got a deal was Anthony Basile. He blew trial in 2006, and he did the same thing, and he ended up getting 10 years. But, when Homeboy heard Messino do it, it probably had a fucking, all of a sudden he heard bingo, like his old fucking fat sister.
Yeah.
Well, nobody knew at that time that Joe flipped until I think 2005 or something like that, right?
No, it was September, January. You're right. January. In September. Apparently in September they take him in. He flips after trial. He talks to them, but September he starts coming in. They were like, well, let's not rush this. Let's do, it's too obvious. Let's see how we're going to go about this. They had to talk to people too, because again, it's very rare to blow trial and then all of a sudden flip and they give you a deal. But not everybody was Joe Messino, But
yeah, exactly.
The article comes out of I believe either the Daily News or the Post in January of 2005.
That he was outed as an informant?
Yeah.
Okay, which is the same time that Gotti Jr. went in and sat down with the government.
It was early January too. I remember it well. Somebody gave me the paper. I was in a facility, a state facility in January, in Jersey, and I was getting ready to get into the program, into the units, but I had to still take my polygraph, so they shuffled me from a couple of state places in Jersey, and there was this CEO who was pretty cool, and he goes, "Hey, read this," and I read it, but I read it like I had to read it twice, and then again where it sank in because I felt it was Bassiano that was flipping. They were talking about the wire incident. So I was like, oh, wow, he flipped on Joe. Big deal, But then I read it again. I said, what the fuck did I just read? And about that time, I called my mom, and she was alive. And I go, hey, look, see, you fucking guys are all fucking, because it was a big deal for us when Joe flipped because, he could have gave my family hell. So I figured, I got a little, I knew I wasn't going to be in the best graces with my family, but at least I can be like, he flipped, why you busting my fucking balls for? And then my mom was like, yeah, but I talked to your brother about that. And I was like, yeah. And he said, once you stink, you always stink. So I was like, thanks, Bob.
Oh my God. Because you're looking at it like shit. The boss of the family that's getting indicted and taken down. This guy goes in and flips and tells on everybody too. But you also had his brother-in-law, who was the underboss, Sal Vitale, flip, and pretty much every captain in the entire family. You had Frankie Copa, you had Shellac head Richie Canarella, Lino. I mean, all those guys cooperated too. I mean, pretty much everybody in the whole family fucking wound up flipping, including the administration.
Yeah, but you know what? The American side of the families, they're more forgiving than like the Sicilians are. You know what I mean?
Right.
At the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about Metalio, Lino, or anything. They give a fuck. And there's a lot of people probably didn't like my family, so this gave them a reason to fucking talk behind their backs.
Right.
Look at that brother; he's a rap bastard.
Well, you know the way that life is. Nobody fucking likes anyone. They're all envious of each other.
For sure. So that's where that is. He has a quote. He always likes to say that a rat is not made; he's born. I guess he knows something about himself. That's why. Because there's a lot of premeditation in his fucking maneuvering on how he went about
who said that? Who said that?
Junior Gotti has said that before.
Well,
a rat is born.
Is born. He doesn't become one. He's born that way.
Well, so here's the thing. You know,
he should know because he had a lot of premeditation in doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, it goes back to something that I would ask somebody a question like
which I disagree. I disagree. But is he talking about himself? That's my point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, for sure. No, I understand what you're saying, but you know, and something to that point too. At the same time, is like I would ask somebody like, do you think somebody is born gay? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
But think about it, right? So if somebody's born gay, you can't blame them for being a homosexual. They were born like that, right?
Yeah,
so if somebody's born a rat, they don't have any choice in the matter. So how can you fucking be mad at them or take it against them? They were born like that, right?
He's trying to say that they knew what they were going to do all along. He's a prime example of fucking premeditation rat. If you look at it, you know, the whole fucking his view, you know, he was just a little bit more, I won't even give it sophisticated, but deep pocketed in the rat game. You say why? Because he had enough pockets to go to trial and say, hey, well, I'm going to try to win. If I don't win, he played the game Messino played. Messino had a lot of money. He spent $700,000 on fucking lawyer fees.
Right.
He probably did figure that if he loses, he's going to go that direction.
Well, I think he had like what 14 million just in gold bars or some shit like that alone.
Yeah, he had a $13 million forfeiture, and they were going to go for more. So that meant basically, I think there was a lot of components to joke flipping. Like he lost touch with the outside. Nobody was fucking making money from it. And then when his brother-in-law flipped, people like, fuck that. Why am I going to send him money when his brother-in-law put away my buddy? He's about to put me away. I'm not going to send him money. Fuck that. But for him and his wife, you know, a lot of people would take a resentment on his wife. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah, they were trying to go after, I think, like his properties or something too, and like take the house from her or something like that.
And his mom was still alive. They were trying to take her house on in Mascot.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were going at it, you know.
Right. Well, I just find it funny that, you know, his story's completely changed and evolved over the years or whatever. And I would figure that the guy would have done a little bit more homework and research to figure out dates and times when he wanted to implicate a bunch of other people into this whole ruse that he had with the government. Because in one breath, he's saying that all the government cooperators go in there and they lie to get convictions against people, right? I mean, you heard his father say it when he was in prison at Marion that, you know, it took people that killed 100 people and liars to come and frame me to put me in here, not accepting the fact that it was his own mouth that put him in prison, right? Then you turn around and Junior's basically saying the same thing. And then he goes, oh, well, when I went into the government, I told them a bunch of shit and it was lies and stuff that they couldn't use that they know was wrong. Because in the Patrick Bet-David interview, he talks about how the feds wrote down this 302 and they mixed up the murders because he was given information on the Frank Heidel murder when he was really given information on the Jimmy Heidel murder. And he's saying that these people were dead at the time that I gave him this information. How were the feds this stupid? They should have known that I was lying to them. But that's not what the feds were doing. The feds were just writing down what you told them. So if anything in there is a lie, it's because you told them a lie, not because they're writing it down.
And right, what you were just telling them stuff, right? Well, your intention. So was your intention to tell them stuff, but you weren't telling what they want to hear. So you went there to tell them stuff. You did go there to tell them stuff.
Yeah,
you know, but it wasn't what you know. You were just kidding. Well, who the fuck are you to move the fucking goalpost in Cosa Nostra in 100 years? Because that's the people who never got second question when their father was there. Who the fuck are you to question me? Blah blah blah. So I could get away with that shit. You understand what I mean? Because I'm Gotti's son. So who the fuck is gonna question me about anything? And when they do, I'm just gonna tell them I was lying to them anyway. You see, they twisted the fucking whole narrative, the dynamic of what Cosa Nostra is, and that's what he was doing. He got caught in his own game. People don't give a fuck. People that were much fucking powerful and more bigger than him at that time. When his father died, he lost a lot of power. So they were like, fuck you. You can tell other people that. Tell them kids you were fucking robbing that back in Howard Beach or taking their money or fucking them up and then lying about why you fucked them up, or just the terror that you fucking people did on Cross Bay Boulevard. We're not them people. You can't tell us that. Go fuck yourself. Almost got him killed too.
Right. No, I agree, and it kind of shows you like the arrogance that they had, that they could go on there and just spew this fucking bullshit, and people got to take their word for it, you know.
You see it with the sister. She can't do that back in New York no more. She can't go on Cross Bay Boulevard and comport herself as if her father's still alive. She's got to do it with people from fucking Montana, Idaho, West Virginia, people that don't know her, people who think that she's actually reveling her family. If there is a Gotti that's relevant these days, it's not her family. It's not immediate. You know, we know who that is. We don't want to fuck. We don't have to mention him.
Yeah.
Or even a cousin, but it's not her, and that's why she threatens people. She sues. She wants to sue people. All that other shit, because nobody gives a fuck about her. She's nobody, and you people put too much fucking you invested in her too much because you think who the fuck she's nothing, man. She even when her father was around, we say this all the time when we're laughing, we're kidding. She's in an attic and whatnot, but she's a fool. She's a real she's not a bright person, and you can see why she never used to talk or come out or whatever the fuck it is that she did. I'm not saying I am, but I'm a brain surgeon compared to her.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's room temp right there. That's room temp.
Yeah, room temp. She is room temp, but she's fucking IQ right there. It's fucking. And anybody who follows her or whatever, I mean, either something they're lonely in their lives, they got old guys who just go over there and pour it out, or you got guys that want to tell people they were somebody in their circle of nobodies. And when I mean nobodies, I mean in that world. Where they could go to the Raton with their Jewish friends and say, "Oh, well, yeah, well, I got out of that life. I'm really good friends with the daughter, And people who don't know be like, "Really, Silo, you are?"
Yeah.
So that's what he does. You ain't fooling nobody, bro. You ain't fooling nobody. Nobody. I'm not here to throw rocks and bring that kind of shit here. But
no, that's fine.
That's what it comes down to at the end of the day,
No, I agree. And that's why I think she has such a hard time with people not kissing her ass on here, because she's so used to people fawning over her because of who her father was, that she's still trying to live back like it's fucking 1990, you know what I mean? 1985 or whatever. And she can't grasp or understand that people don't give a fuck anymore, Like when she makes the comment like, "Oh, you wouldn't say anything if my father was still alive, this and that." Well, you wouldn't be on fucking YouTube if he wasn't.
You wouldn't either. You wouldn't either.
Exactly. And a lot of the shit, like the stuff that came up on Merlino's podcast, on Skinny's podcast, we were playing a video before, they said the number one question they were asked is whether or not he thinks Junior's a rat. And you could blame her for that. She's the reason why they're even bringing that up and asking him on here. It's because of the shit she does on fucking YouTube.
I've said that many times. If it wasn't for her, they wouldn't bring her brother up.
No, not at all. Her brother would have never had to do that interview on Patrick Bet-David if Merlino never came out and called her brother a rat. And she's the catalyst for it. Let's be honest. Who do you think was asking Joey them questions? The people from YouTube.
Yeah. Nobody. Right. Exactly, man. She has a little bit of that nostalgia left in her life. When people that don't know who she is bring her back to those Howard Beach days where, "Hey, how's everything? Your father's a great man. Thank you." Or her dating game was a little bit better because her father was still around. People like she was taking in fucking simps who was scared to say no to her.
Yeah.
But
well, Maureen made a comment here. She said, "I will say this. Some of us were lied to and used as useful idiots. We believed in what we were told and battled on her word, only years later to find out it was all false."
Yeah, I mean, was she correct about us being rats? Yeah. But not all of us lie, you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to her. That was her narrative. They put their friend she didn't like what she heard. She said, "Well, they put their friends away and this and that, so don't listen to them." Because this has been going on with me, John Alite, her, Maureen was back in the day, Casparosa back then. So I'm used to this woman. I know what she's about. It's not. It's kind of comical at the same time,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Well, I came on here, before I met you, Frankie, and Howie, who actually grew up, in Queens and actually knew people like A-Light personally. I believe that a lot of the stuff that A-Light was on there saying was also false too. You know what I mean? If you're just looking at it from the outside looking in, and you're seeing interviews or just reading books or articles, whatever, and the outcome of the trials where A-Light testified that Junior winds up getting a hung jury and not getting acquitted, and you look at it and you're like, oh well, he must have been lying or embellishing it, because that's all you would hear about coming from the Gotti camp, right? So I was under that impression that most of the shit that he said also wasn't true until I started speaking with you and speaking with Howie, who knew A-Light personally, and we're like, no, he mostly is telling the truth about a lot of the shit that he says on here. And I had to take a step back and start looking at it, and I says, oh fuck, you know what? I still don't agree with obviously everything that he says. I don't.
Right.
But I would say out of the 100% I was sure before, it's probably only down to like 20%.
Well, yeah, she had him as a fucking guy that just came out of nowhere, like some of these other guys that show up on YouTube. Like, nobody ever knew this guy. Who the fuck was he? He was around. He was around. Bottom line, and it's. I think what used to piss her off was not when people like myself used to defend and say, or Howie'd say, yeah, he was around. We were around. We remember him. But people had nothing to do that lived in those areas. I go, yeah, John A-Light was this and that. That's what used to bother her, because it used to, people who, had nothing to lose by saying that. You know what I mean?
Right. And she would get irritated over that?
Sure.
Well, yeah, because their narrative basically that the guy he was nothing but a stone cold liar, and he made it all up, and he only knew Junior for a couple of years, and he was a fucking nobody basically. But then when I started looking into some stuff, I mean, I remember when Ronnie One Arm Trucchio gave his opening statement during his trial in Florida, and he basically says in his opening statement that I don't know why I'm here. This whole case started back with John Jr. and Johnny A-Light. And then there's pictures of Ronnie One Arm with A-Light. And there's pictures of Junior or A-Light at the, coming out of the house or at the social club and shit like that. And you got to look back and just be like, holy shit. Like, if people like yourself weren't on here, Howie wasn't on here to come out and speak about this stuff, they would still be going with that same narrative that everything that they say was true. And, A-Light and all these other guys were full of shit, when it turns out that that's not even the case.
No, and she's always comparing guys that were like 15 or 20 years older than A-Light. Her father's age group. She doesn't compare. She doesn't talk about my brother's friends and this. No, that's who he was mostly acquainted with them, and he was very, very deep. They were thick as thieves. I think later on, he uses that term to talk about John A-Light. But at one time, it was like they didn't even know who he was. He was like the Anthony Raimondi,
Right.
This guy's he's laughable. Who the fuck is he? You had the kid FBS making shows about John A-Light in the beginning, and everybody was, but he was who he was, And then later on, he even had him on his show. So kudos to him for that.
Well, there's somebody in the chat for you. For those of you that don't know, Frank is on panel with us. Francesco Fiordilino. He has his own channel on here called 52 Topics. And Frank, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself for those that might not know who you are and know about your channel yourself?
I was a coffee boy.
The barista to the mob.
To the mob. I was a barista to the mob. I was an associate, a low level, but I was around a lot of the older guys that were bigger and more in a family sense than criminal. But I had my own. I get arrested for murder in '93. I get in trouble. I ran with a whole bunch of kids that were fucking psychopaths. You probably heard of them, the Giannini crew. And eventually I get myself around the Bonanno family, and I get caught up in the Bonanno family indictment later on. I kind of slipped through the cracks. I thought I was scot-free, to be honest with you, because I've done a lot of fucking shitty things. I'm like, all right, cool. And then one day they pick me up and they go, no, you're not scot-free. We just saved you for this fucking indictment, stupid. And there I go.
Yeah, so there you go. Maureen just dropped the link over to Frank's channel. If you guys want to check that out, he has a lot of good content on there. Personal stories, him growing up in Queens with the Bonanno family, a little bit about himself and the crew that he was around. There's a lot of very notorious or now infamous members of organized crime that he does shows on there. So it's definitely a good channel. Please check that out. Give him a subscribe. He goes live every what? You're on every Monday, I think, or
yeah, Monday at 7:00 we have our live shows, and then we do we make videos, and then the project that we started was the Ridgewood True Story, which is basically about my experience around the Giannini crew.
Yep. So there you guys go. Give him a check out, give him a sub, and check his channel out if you guys haven't already. It's really good stuff.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by too, Frankie. I appreciate it, man.
Cool. You guys are probably gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, we've been on for a couple hours and my voice is going. So.
All right, cool. All right, I'll see you later.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping by. We'll have to do a show together sometime soon, Frankie.
Well, you guys gotta stop by. You both gotta stop by us, and you can promote the show on our thing. Tell us what you're about. We would like that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Live. Yeah, no, absolutely, and it'll be fun too. We always find stuff to break balls with. You know, we're starting to do a lot of that AI music shit, fuck around with people, and
yeah.
Maybe you could help with fucking, because we're having problems right now with a couple of these fugazis, and you guys know how to fucking break these bastards down.
Yeah, let me know. Before we do jump off though, have you seen there's this new fucking jerk off that's going around? It just popped up on my YouTube algorithm or whatever. It's some guy calls himself like Caruso or some shit like that. Have you seen that jerk off?
Yeah, actually, I talked to Howie about it. He says he's from Howie's neck of the woods. So I said, Howie, you know this fucking guy? And Howie's like, no.
I've never heard of the guy, ever.
But maybe we could do a joint show and just go after this guy and have you guys on and tell them what you guys are. Most of our guys on the chat know who you guys are, anyways.
Yeah.
Listen, if the guy did what he said he did, he would have an article in Gangland News.
Yeah, he would have a fucking article. He'd have an indictment on fucking the Department of Justice. You know what I mean? That's the thing that people are forgetting. You know, if this guy hadn't been indicted, nobody's ever heard of him before, and he's talking about committing all these crimes with all 5 families and organized crime. He doesn't have coverage for any of it, so I'm sure the fucking feds could whip something up and indict the asshole if he actually did any of this shit. So I've looked around. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. I've never heard of him. That's why I jokingly asked you. I didn't even ask Howie because I know the guy's full of shit, but I just wanted to see if he has even heard about it because I don't know who the fuck this guy is, man.
Well, I believe the guy said he cooperated, right?
He did. He cooperated, but he says he also killed people. And now we're getting a little bit better intel. We're almost there. What we got is he did try to like make bets one time, and he got the fucking shit knocked out of him. To a coma. It wasn't like, I'll do whatever I want, and it's a free country, like he said. He told Junior. And apparently Junior's guys beat the fucking... which I would have suspected if we really did give that answer back then, that would have happened. So I got to get with Johnny.
So he said that he did catch a case and he did cooperate because I couldn't find anything.
Yes.
Is he using his real name or is he under an alias?
Well, that's the other thing. He uses his government name, not his real name. When you do it the other way around, so nobody can come catch you. You know, I use Frank Fiordilino, but that's no longer my name.
Right.
You know, so people don't know where the fuck. Why would I use my government name and then make you try to figure out who I am? I mean, if I come on here without using my name and nobody knew who I was, I'd give it about an hour before somebody would be like, I know who he is.
Yeah, of course. Right.
That's not the case with him, but we found out who he is.
What's his real name?
Homeboy got it. Once I get it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, text it to me.
Wait, I think you texted it to me.
I think I did text it to you. If you can find it, say it. Don't matter. He basically was somebody who wanted to take bets on his own, and he was confronted. And he did it again, and they beat the fuck. They put him in the hospital, and he flipped. There was no murders involved. There was no nothing.
Well, yeah, because the interview I saw, he was saying that he worked for all 5 families and was involved in all that shit or whatever. And I'm like, who the fuck is this ass? The whole story made no fucking sense. None.
You said you told me, you texted me and said his name is Jimmy Easy Sirocco.
Yeah, there you go. Jimmy Sirocco.
Jimmy
Easy
Sirocco.
Yeah. Once they say they work for every 5 family,
you know it's bullshit.
Yeah, you know it's bullshit. You know
Yeah.
that guy fucking out in Florida, the Paggio. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He worked for. Not only did he work for every fucking family, Ciro DiPaggio.
Yeah.
Not only did he work for every family, he also worked for the cartels. So he was busy.
Oh shit! Is that the latest?
No, that's what he said back then when he was bullshit.
He might have been the other guy that went with Hootie to Mexico.
Yeah. That was his accomplice. Yeah, to meet Juan. They were down there meeting Juan for the kilos. Yeah.
Listen,
well, I remember Ciro DiPaggio, that fucking clown. He what was he calling himself? The king of the mob or some shit. What was the fucking name?
Well, he was walking around with a shelf captain in the Colombo family. That was who was giving him like go ahead, do whatever you got to do, just give me money. And this guy was helping him spread his lies. I know the story behind it inside out.
Yeah.
And that's how he was operating. And you ask him. Yeah, I know the kid. He was a tough guy. So he used to validate him so he could sell his movies, his bullshit.
What was the name of it though? It's called like the King of the Mob or some shit.
Oh, Mob King. Mob King.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
He showed up. Didn't he show up to like Woodsack Mafia or something like that? And the guy cooperated a rat, and then fucking Junior found out afterwards and flipped out or some shit like that.
Yeah, told him, get out of here, you rat bastard.
Yeah.
Him and Gunner too. They were buddies. So him and Gunner were getting all these type of people that end up on fucking angel shows. The people want to be part of the mob. You know, they were selling handbags. They were selling gym bags with the people's area codes with the Mob King logo. And these people loved it. You know, they were all buying it, hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, my God.
But it's good now. They can't do that shit no more, you know. And this guy came a little bit too late. And he's taking he's lying. Like Bernstein signed off on fucking Gunner. And this guy has some chick who used to write Christian books. And she probably thought she fucking hit it gold with this guy, you know. The mom, and she keeps saying in the comments, you'll see, just buy the book. You'll see, just by what we're just fucking abusing the shit out of them, you know.
Hey Frank, did you see that A-Light interview John Veazey?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right?
Yeah. John, that's good.
It sounded like they were gonna start doing more stuff together or something. I don't know too much about it, but we'll have to find out.
That'd be great. They fucking make a good team, to be honest. And John Veazey's pretty down to earth. It looks like he's, you know, he's a crazy fuck. I always heard crazy shit about him. But as you get older, you calm down. So I think it'll be good.
I got a question here from Nino. Said, did you go to the original Rays on Prince Street with Junior Chili in the 90s?
No, I didn't know Junior Chili. I think Junior Chili is Jerry, right? Or Jerry's son, Joe.
Jerry's son.
No. They got pretty much shelved. You know, he got into trouble.
Yeah, he was in Florida. He was in Florida for most of the 90s and shit, wasn't he?
Dude, the guy was fucking hanging out with people in Woodsack, okay? He didn't give a fuck because they were making him money, so he didn't care.
Well, he was involved with that the guy that killed the DEA agent there, Gus Ferracci, wasn't he?
Well, his daughter was dating. His daughter was dating Gus Ferracci. She was
and they helped hide him out or something like that for a while.
Correct.
Right?
And then before he went to Manhattan in the Village where he grew a beard.
Yeah. No, I remember hearing about that. He wasn't in favor with too many people from the sounds of it. There was that other guy. Remember, he was from who the fuck was that guy? Remember he had a show on YouTube for a little while a couple years back. He was like some karate fucking guy or something. And he claimed he was with Jerry Chili. He was selling coke and shit.
Oh, it's like
yeah. Made something made.
Yeah, made American Made or something. It was some shit like that.
No, not American Made. No,
Mafia Made.
Maybe something like that.
It was something like that. I forget the guy's name.
I remember. Yeah.
Anthony Cucci, that was his name, or Couchy.
Yes.
Yeah, Couchy. Yep.
Yeah, Couchy. Yeah, that
Yeah,
guy
then he had
disappeared, and now he's back. I think I seen something pop up in my algorithm. He's back doing something else now.
Yeah. No, I know who you're talking about. He had that Dominican guy or Colombian guy that looked like the 7-Up guy back in the day.
They were doing some type of like group trips down to Colombia and shit. They were pitching like group trips or something like that. And then I found out, or I heard, that his wife passed away out of nowhere, and that's why he disappeared for a while. But now he's back, and he's doing interviews and shit on other platforms now, because it popped up in my feed like a month or two ago.
Yeah, that's not the Miami crowd. That bullshit crowd. They're Ciro the Paggio, them. They're all in that fucking same clique. I can't remember the fucking Colombo captain's name. He's like 75, 80. He's another shyster, and he's shelved. And all he does is over there is try to do anything to make a buck. He works at a topless bar down there in Fort Lauderdale. They have him like the honorary fucking guy. He comes in, he shakes people's hands, always trying to make a fucking dollar, you know?
Oh yeah? No, what did he get shelved for?
For being broke and fucking, borrow money from people, not paying them back, all that kind of shit. Like the Jerry Chili type, a soft Jerry Chili.
Oh shit! Oh, okay.
Hey
gotcha.
Frank, I heard a rumor that Alphonse Trujillo's off the shelf.
I heard that too. I don't know, but it makes sense. His father's out.
Yeah.
I don't believe that it's not that they don't want the power. I don't think they want that. With all the surveillance and everything's going on, if there's a whole bunch of them hanging out at a club sometimes, it's because because they go to jail a year or two at that age. That could be a death sentence. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like they don't give a fuck. They're just doing a money grab, and whatever they can grab, they can leave it to their family.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing that makes sense realistically. And the guys that got shelved, Bobby Glasses and JoJo aren't alive anymore, so it makes sense why they would bring them back around.
I mean, listen, those guys are powerhouses. If they were 20 years younger, would the Sicilian guys be up where they are? No. The Sicilian guys were put there. Let's just get that shit straight.
It was fucking the Carrazos who put them there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people make it like, oh, the resurfacing of these Sicilians. I mean, the Sicilian Gambino family side is a little stronger than, let's say, the Bonanno ones. But at the same time, they're not to be reckoned with the American Gambinos at all. It's just that I think they put him there for show. You know what I mean?
Listen, right. I remember when Bobby Bobby wasn't straightened out yet, but he was going to get straightened out, and he told me he was going to be straightened out and go straight to captain, acting captain for Cefalu until he came out. But then I guess things I don't know what happened, but Cefalu winds up coming out, and I've been to a couple of dinners with JoJo, Bobby, and Cefalu, so Bobby, I believe, was the liaison to the Sicilians, and it was JoJo and probably with Nikki's blessing that put them back back on the map.
Yeah, do whatever you want to do. They know how to do it better than we do. Not talking about themselves, but the other ones that brought that family down, I guess. But I could tell, being around coffee shops since a very young age, or mob clubs. They're mob clubs. Every time people automatically think I was working at a Starbucks. I see the body language that occurs when certain people are around other people. I notice it, right away. Like a guy who has us on our feet, all of a sudden is on his feet when a certain individual walks in the place.
Right.
I picked that shit up right away. And that was the vibe I used to get with Dominic. Bobby used to be on his feet when Dominic came in. But when Dominic had other Americans in there, he'd be on his feet. You know what I mean? So that kind of told you what the the dynamic that was going on in certain families,
Yeah. Plus, which makes it made sense because the Carrazos were in power. I mean,
they still
you
are.
know,
I mean,
yeah, and the Sicilians, they always reported to whoever was in power.
Yeah,
Back in the day, it was through Patsy Conti.
Right,
Well,
right. And he was
Nicky
another
would have
one.
had to have been the one to take Alphonse off the shelf then.
Yeah, I listen. Honestly, it wouldn't make sense for them to not take him off the shelf because, it was Bobby and JoJo that were mad at him. Okay.
Yeah.
But now this kid, is still got capabilities of making big money. So,
It's a no-brainer.
yeah, and then, with his father getting out, I'm sure he was, pushing for the situation. And, they did, they made that decision. And I don't think it was a hard decision without JoJo and Bobby around.
No, yeah, right. It was like, not on my dead body. Well, you weren't having none of that going on. If anybody could attest to it, and he wouldn't have anyway, it was probably the son, Jojo Carrazzo Jr. Right, the lawyer. Is that his name, Jojo?
Right. Yeah. He made. Yeah.
Because that was his beat. And he probably was like, if I knew, I didn't know him personally, but knowing people knew him, he was probably like, man, I don't care, whatever. It's up to you.
But he's not, he's not a made guy, so he really technically wouldn't have a say.
No, I'm just saying as a favor to his uncle, like his uncle.
Yeah. Well, if you think about the whole situation on exactly what Alphonse did, he didn't really do anything fucking any worse than what his father did.
No. Or fucking nothing compared to what Junior did,
That too, yeah.
If you want, and he still thinks he's somebody. You believe that? That fucking guy, incredible. Just, you know what? I'm taking it out on him. We take it out on him, Junior. But at the same time, it's a sister. We fucking just let's be honest. We just can't stand her. So whenever we hear any of them say anything we don't like, we take it out.
Well, listen, I can't stand John Jr.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But she doesn't make.
But she keeps them in the conversation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's be honest. A lot of people wouldn't be talking about or mentioning it. I don't think Merlino would have ever spoken about it. I don't think that he ever would have wound up on Patrick Bet-David's show if Merlino never spoke about it. At the end of the day, it all comes back onto her and how she acts and the way she treats people.
Listen, I said from the very beginning that when Angel and Angela were saying breath of fresh air and talking good about Joey was only so he wouldn't talk bad about her brother. And Joey said it. He knew it too.
He said it. Yeah, he did. He said, I don't know who the fuck she is, but I know why she's doing it because she don't want me talking about the brother. Yeah, I remember that.
Right.
Yeah,
and if you remember, Mickey said right after that show happened when he called them a rat, he goes, I can't believe he said that about my brother. I was nice to him.
For 5 days.
Yeah.
She had diarrhea for 5 days. Oh, that fucking was so satisfying. She should have never said that. It made my fucking week.
Oh, it was great, man.
She said I was nice to him. Like, he gives a fuck if you're nice to him or not.
Your brother's no longer rad because you were nice.
What effect do you have on his fucking life?
He didn't even know what the fuck she was, he said. Why would he care?
I love it. I love the conversation I love the best is I guess I'm not talking about Angela, so Maureen, if you're listening. But they were having a conversation, both of them, and they're like, and she's like, can you imagine your brother having a show with Joey Molino?
Well, I remember that.
Them two good-looking guys. Ooh, they were fucking all giddy and falling on the floor, sweating, and their bacalas were sweating. Their bacalas were fucking ooh, and they're fucking. It's like 10 weeks later,
Yeah.
Breath of fresh air.
Yeah, he's a breath of fresh air. Yeah. Remember they were talking about how cute the guy in the blue sweater was or whatever, which it was him on his show. and then you fast forward a couple weeks, he's calling her brother a rat.
They don't know. They bring so much comedy into this fucking world. They don't get it. They want to be serious, but they're just fucking funny, man.
Oh my God, I thank them all the time for fucking platforming the fucking dolts that they do over there because they give us fucking content to fucking laugh at. You know what I mean?
Man.
You got the asshole. You got the asshole Lilo over there, fucking the fake boxer, knocking out Kimbo Slice, fucking putting up fake DD214s. I mean, you couldn't write this shit any better. You know what I'm saying?
They could even knock out Bimbo Slice, the lot lizard.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable, man. You know.
Well, I had the old 1-2. That's who I was. You know, yeah.
Listen, that guy.
We gotta do this again, guys. I had fun tonight. We gotta come back to another show and chop it up and have some laughs.
For sure, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Before you go, Silo's got to be one of the biggest fucking assholes I've ever fucking seen in my life.
He was Terrence from Bobby's Club.
Yeah.
He's probably Terrence's cousin.
That's fucking Vito's twin brother over there.
Vito's smarter. Vito Aiello was smart. Vito didn't lie.
That's one of the 4 goons Vito was looking for. Fucking
Vito just thought he had 4 goons that never showed up. But
yeah.
I'm looking for 4 goons.
The guy's he's a total fucking asshole and a fucking lying jerk off. I don't understand how she even platforms that fucking guy with all the fucking shit that he said on here. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah. It's crazy. He is something. He's a special guy. They study people like that, you know, like pathological liars. He doesn't know he's lying. You know that, right?
What?
Silo. He's done this for so long. He actually believes he's telling the truth.
I mean, listen, Angel is fucking. She ain't the fucking sharpest tool in the shed either. She fucking invited a Nazi to come over her house to bang her daughter.
So they can have an Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
She made a Nazi a fucking chicken pot pie.
Yeah. Him was
I want to know whose idea was the chicken pot pie? His, or did she's like, oh, I'll make a chicken pot pie.
What do they like in Germany? You know, he's a Nazi.
And you know what? I don't want to be too vulgar. Because there's women in the chat, but you know, she told Kasparosa that MRE kissed like a fish. Ooh. So now I'm thinking there's more to that conversation. She probably asked her daughter, "Did he have a big dick?"
Yeah. What do they talk about?
What, you don't think they fucking talked about the sex?
I don't know. He's too small. Does he have a brajo?
Somebody said Silo said he was 56 the other night. Is that true?
God damn, he's been saying that shit forever since he came on. Like he's my age.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been saying he's 56 for like 4 years now.
Yeah. The bolts on his neck are 56 years old.
Yeah. What? I don't think that guy can tell the truth about anything. I think he's like allergic to fucking telling the truth about anything. It's like he just can't do it.
No, I'm telling you, I just think he believes his bullshit, you know?
Well, I was watching fucking YouTube one night randomly, and I was scrolling through like the lives that were on, and this asshole was on this show one night talking to like 9 other fucking people. I forget what the name of the fucking show was or what the channel was even about, but sure as shit, it was fucking Transbo on the panel trying to run shit over there with these 8 other assholes. I have no idea who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
They're not anybody from this community. It was some random fucking channel. And I'm wondering to myself, how many other fucking communities do you think that this guy goes in and talks to these fucking people and shit?
Does that? Yeah, if he had a chance, like if somebody's running late at a fucking some seminar, you know, he's the guy that goes up there and goes, well, let me tell you something about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Or the housing community that, you know, where they have meetings about where they live. Them complexes, he's the one that does all the talking.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's like several lawsuits and shit. Somebody was asking me or telling me about the other day that he's filed against fucking random people. Like he does slip and falls for a living.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's just, listen, I don't know if it's the same guy, but somebody sent me a whole bunch of fucking cases with the guy's name on there in the state of New York from Queens or whatever for slip and falls and shit like that. So
Oh, yeah, that was his nickname, Stagger Lee Silo.
yeah. So
Stagger Lee.
We'll find out though. We'll find out. You know what I mean? It'll come out eventually.
Dude, they're all of them are fucking shysters. You got Lee there, him. There's a whole bunch of them on that guy with one tooth that weighs 500 pounds.
Yeah, which I can't understand. How the fuck does a guy with one tooth weigh 500 pounds? That's impressive.
Don't Walrus have two tusks? Who knows?
Yeah. Imagine if he had 28 teeth, though. Madon, he'd be fucking 1,200 pounds.
They'll be fucking using a crane to get him out of his second floor apartment.
He'd be on my 600-pound life fucking next season.
My 600-pound gangster.
Yeah. Well, listen, Frankie, thanks for stopping by. We've been for a while, but I wanna definitely do this again, man. I had fun.
Yeah, definitely. We got to get together. Come on our show one day, and you guys could promote your show and basically help us out with this fucking fugazis we got.
Yeah, we'll have to get caught up, and I'll send you a text over there, Frankie. We'll have to catch up, and we'll figure that out.
Absolutely. All right. Good night, guys. Good night.
All right. Good night, Frank.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Frankie. Take care.
All right. Want to say good night to the chat. Thank you guys for coming, and comment. I'll talk to you later.
All right, I appreciate it, man. And everybody tonight, thank you guys for being here. If you guys haven't already, if you like this content, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. To the couple people that sent over donations, I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you, and we will see you guys very soon. Later.